Alamo City Sportscast, and we're going to go ahead and have our lovely intro now.
Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
Hey, what's up, San Antonio? Hey, I know we're a little bit better on the eyes than what you're normally used to seeing. You know what I'm saying? Mike's in Vegas. Good luck. Hope he makes it back. Hey, you know me, I'm Rick Fernandez on the X/Twitter. My childhood friend, John Dyer, Spurs and Salsa on Twitter and X. We got the beautiful, lovely Chicana Fuerte co-producing. She's got her own co-producing spot down there doing her thing. And of course, the man behind the magic, Joe Garcia. What's up?
Hey, look at Mike's in the chat right now.
Mike's in the chat.
He's hungover. No mames, Mike. No mames.
Hey.
Is he married? Roll over, Mike. You got a bride next to you?
Yeah, got a ring on that finger. We got the usual suspects in the chat. I appreciate you guys. Sam Salinas, Mario Cavazos, Chris Leja, Tony. Hey, I appreciate you guys showing up already.
Look at Chris Leja's already being necio. It's Friday. Saca la bolsita.
You already know. You already know what it is. This is the Marbach Exit 7 edition.
Yep.
Puro, baby. So it's okay. We got a lot to get into today. We're gonna be talking what? We're gonna be talking Ryan Garcia.
I
Oh
think
man.
we should just jump into that because we were already
Yeah.
talking pre.
Yeah, Ryan
show.
Garcia definitely. We're gonna get into some Spurs talk, right? Laurie Markkinen, bunch of rumors going around. A lot of this sometimes is a lot too much for nothing, right? A lot of it is much ado about nothing. A lot of rumors, a lot of credible and uncredible sources out there, right? We'll get into that. We'll talk some Texas and Texas A&M, right?
At
We
least
want to
a
talk
little bit,
a little
yeah,
bit about that.
a little
Yeah,
bit.
Texas joining the SEC, all that good stuff. It's 4th of July weekend. Dyer brought up a good topic about we'll get into some favorite holiday spots, right? We have like Easter has its own flavor, 4th of July
San Antonio.
here in San Antonio,
Yeah.
right? Talk about certain, Woodlawn. Some people like SeaWorld, some people like, Camargo Park.
Brack.
Brack.
Easter
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Brack.
Easter's Brack, right? And all that good stuff. But we'll get into that. We used to do Canyon Lake even too.
Oh,
when
yeah,
I was
yeah.
young. When I was young, we did
Yeah,
that.
man,
but
that's already starting to dry
So,
up now, bro.
I know, man. I know.
sad.
So yeah, so you guys out there, we would like to hear from y'all. What are some of y'all's favorite spots? We do have the what is it called, Joe? The Diamond
The
Hard.
Diamond Hard phone lines will be open here.
Yeah, tell us about
shortly,
that, Joe.
man. So we're gonna
Tell us
have
about that.
we had the fans requesting to call in, and I mean we're doing stuff Monday through Thursday, but Friday's a special day, so it's like we'll reserve Friday for the fan base, and you know what? They can listen to us throughout the week, and if they want to go ahead and clap back on something me or Mike said or something that one of you guys are saying in the studio today, they can go ahead and call in. We'll open it up for the fans. So the Diamond Hard phone lines will be open for a short time.
There you go.
The only thing that we're asking is that y'all be respectful, man. Be respectful. Don't get out of line. Keep the cussing to a minimum, man. We're going to screen the calls before we put you on just to make sure that we know your name so we can introduce you.
That's why Mike took Fridays off now. He's not going to be here every Friday.
You don't want the smoke?
He's never coming back.
Yeah, he don't want that. He don't want that pledge or beat down, man. That he had earlier in the week, man.
No, but I do. Those are conversations that Pledger has with Mike
I know,
all the
man.
time.
But Pledge came like with it.
Oh, he came with the fire.
Yeah,
Because this is the same thing that happens with my good friend Jonas Clark. He's one of my best friends.
yeah.
And me and him go at it too. Sometimes we have heated discussions that never make it on air. And
Yeah.
we're talking sports or whatever else.
Yeah.
So people that know Jonas, he used to be the producer of the Sports Grind. Shout out to Cal and everything they're doing over there. But yeah, we get into it too. Like we get into shouting matches, It's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, let's jump into Ryan Garcia.
So first,
What do you think, John?
Well, before we start about Ryan Garcia, the last time you and I were together
Yeah.
on this show, we were calling him perhaps the biggest star in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Man, did he make us look dumb? Well, I guess
it depends on what I mean, you're still a star. You know what I mean? Now, whether that's a positive or negative connotation, I guess is what we're dealing with now.
pretty negative now. When we were talking about him, he was fresh off the Haney win.
Mhm.
There was no steroid or
Yeah.
PED scandal.
Yeah.
We were just in awe of his performance.
Right.
Before we do, thank you.
Oh yeah, we got to get your
Producer duties.
yeah, we got to get your face, your beautiful face in there.
There
man,
you are.
know? Yeah.
And-
Well, and
Thank you.
sorry. Okay. Thank you, baby. John, you're a big boxing fan. You go way back. Obviously, I'm a big fan. All four of us in this room, to include you, kind of Floyd, are big boxing fans. So, I mean, let's even just dial back Ryan Garcia even further. Like, so again, a lot of people are starting to know who Ryan Garcia is from all the antics and all that. What I want to do is paint a picture. Like, he's kind of portrayed as this, like, in the Jake Paul, group of like YouTube fighters. He isn't.
Yeah,
Like he really, he's a real boxer. So like the dude was like a multiple time national champion as an amateur. He had a stellar amateur career. So it's not like he just picked up gloves and wants to be famous and all that. I'm just trying to set up the plate for what we're talking about here.
So he was the first real boxer to use social media to its full advantage.
Right.
The way Jake Paul, right?
Right,
I was
right.
getting the Paul brothers mixed up.
Yeah.
So Jake Paul uses it to have a career.
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia just happened to be, like you said, a great boxer. Thank
Yeah.
you.
See, we
Great.
had some good. Yeah.
A great boxer that
Yeah.
was the first to really flex that social media muscle
Right.
to become a megastar.
Yeah.
And that's why he was as famous as he was, or is.
Right. So yeah, and again, like I said, and I just want to go back and dial and paint that picture that Ryan does have an amateur pedigree. He is a boxer. I mean, the kid has skills.
Yeah.
He came up, and then the biggest fight, was probably the Tank fight, right? I think that was like a big fight for him. And then it's interesting seeing the Ryan versus when he fought Tank versus now. When he fought Tank, he was like this respectful. He was like the good guy. Boxing has boxing almost like wrestling has this way of there's a good guy and there's a bad guy, and that's what sells.
He's almost going the path of his promoter, De La Hoya.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah, as soon as he got with De La Hoya,
Yeah.
dude, like that was it.
But he tried to be the golden boy De La Hoya. And then as we've seen Oscar kind of embrace his villain.
Yeah.
To Richard's point.
Yeah.
The heel role.
Yeah.
Oscar's
Yeah.
become
Yeah.
the Vince McMahon.
Right.
Ooh,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
he became that on social media, and Ryan Garcia's like, you know what? That looks fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the same.
Yeah, but who else woke
Yeah.
up, man? I woke up yesterday morning, right? Early, clean the yard a little bit, get the pit going and everything, gonna spend the day outside in the pool with the family and whatnot. Soon as I pulled my phone up, right, to look and see what's popping on the X, I'm like, bro, Ryan, what are you doing, man? I thought it was somebody acting a fool, like they're spoofing him. I said, this can't be him, right? So I click on his profile, sure enough.
Yeah.
And then he's just going off, just going crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you doing that? He's just unhinged, man.
Yeah, and that's
the problem with social media is there's no filter, right?
And not only that, but once you put something out there,
it's there forever.
It's there forever.
Yeah.
Don't matter if you
can
delete
it.
It's there. Somebody got that screenshot.
Yeah.
So maybe back in the day, Oscar was just as crazy as he is
Sure.
now.
Oh, they didn't have social media.
Right,
Social media,
right.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the famous photos went viral.
Yeah.
But even then, that was years later. Who knows how crazy he always was?
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, if someone's crazy and they have a phone in their hand, we're gonna know real
right.
quick.
And I that's a good point, Dyer. And I don't think this is anything new. It's just the platform is there with social media. The instant, like you said, hey, I have this dumb thought in my head, I'm gonna put it out there. Again, there's been celebrities all the way back to freaking Elvis that have been crazy, have done things that are wild and whatever. And it's just nowadays it's in everybody's face. It's in everybody's face. It's in real time. You pick up your phone, you see it. So I mean, put it in perspective. Again, I don't think it's like this like unheard of thing. Like when you're young and you get money like that and fame and fortune and like it's hard to stay grounded. Like it really is. Like I can only imagine how hard it is to stay grounded. And I'm not making excuses for Ryan. By no means am I trying to make excuse for Ryan. I'm trying to just paint a picture of what all this is, right? And
another thing too is that since we are able to have that platform on saying whatever we think, and letting it out, you would think he'd feel better. Like, oh, you got it off your chest.
Oh
yeah.
And it's not. It's just making it worse.
Right.
Now the last time you and I were together, we talked about Ryan using the platform to. Is he tricking us? We called him crazy like a fox, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is he still doing that? Because he's going to be away from boxing for a year.
Yeah.
Is he just trying to keep his name
stay relevant? That's a possibility.
Because let's be honest, the things he said were horrible. He's going to be the number one heel.
Yeah.
But here's the thing too. What's funny is there was a podcast. Anybody listen to The Pivot with Ryan Clark? Cody Rhodes was on it yesterday, and they asked him, "Who's the biggest heel in sports?" And and Cody Rhodes was like, "There's not really a heel. Nobody's that hateable." And Ryan Garcia might have just put himself to that point where in a year when he's not banned from boxing, are we all going to be interested?
I don't think I'm going to be interested in this dude no more, man. From not just what he said yesterday, but his antics even before his last fight with Haney. He's just unhinged, man. It's like, I got you. I'm just playing. No, you're not playing, bro. There's something really going on with him. And he's shown that he's had mental issues before. And that's an important thing to remember here is that I think that the thing that we can take out of this is mental health is important, man. Sometimes you need to go ahead and take a break. And he's done it before. I think he needs to take a break again and reevaluate himself. Like people that are in his camp that really, truly care for him, they need to sit down and have that discussion with him and say, hey, man, this isn't normal behavior, bro. We need to get you some help. You're going through something. He's going through something. I don't know if it's the pressure mixed with maybe he has anxiety, something else going on, but he needs to work out some things, man.
Yeah. And even his father and his parents have made comments and statements and saying like, hey, we don't approve of this. He's unhinged. Our guy Jimenez says, why am I making apologies for Ryan? I'm not making apologies for Ryan. I'm just trying to. Things aren't as simple as this and that, like in life. That's my opinion. I don't think things are that simple. Now, at the end of the day, like he made some homophobic comments. He's made some racist comments. That's
the Coco talking, man.
That's definitely unsad. Like he shouldn't be talking like that. Especially again, he says in one side of his mouth, "I'm a Christian man, and I'm God,"
love
and then
Jesus
he does Now there's a lot of people that do that. Again, Ryan is the only one doing this stuff. Like, here's the thing: there's a lot of racist and homophobic people out there that are just not going to say that. I think Ryan thinks he can get away with anything. I guess at this point, he feels like he could just get away with whatever he wants. He can say what he wants. He's unhinged. He really is, and he does need help because
do we think he's unhinged or is he trying to stay relevant?
I mean, probably a little bit of both.
Because we thought he was unhinged.
Yeah.
And we all thought, he's gonna lose a fight.
Yeah.
And then he surprised us. And we came on this show.
Yeah.
Right, he's crazy like a fox.
Yeah.
Is he staying relevant? Because we've seen Floyd Mayweather. He built a career. He's an amazing boxer.
Yeah.
But he sold all those pay-per-views by being the heel.
Yeah. But Floyd did it like he wasn't saying racist and homophobic stuff.
But what I'm saying is Ryan Garcia taking it to the next level?
I think again, life isn't as simple as this, that, or it's only this or it's only that. It's probably a mixture of both. I guarantee you it's a mixture of both. He wants to stay relevant. He knows that, in this day and age of social media, you have to, clickbait. People have to see you. You got to be around.
It works.
Like that's just what it is. Like, here's the thing. We're all talking about how horrible he is, how this, he's that, but we're still talking about him, right? He's still relevant.
Exactly. It works.
So it does work in a way, but it is getting to a point of like, man, something like just, I don't know, man. Like, people, like I said, like Floyd, yeah, he was the bad guy, but he was like a calculated bad guy. Like he knew what he was doing. Like, and Ryan is just, yeah.
Is it calculated?
Man, I don't know, man. That's a tough question.
That's not calculation. That's just destruction.
I think it's a mixture of both.
Because when he fights in a year,
it's going to be the biggest. Yeah, everyone's going to want to see.
Hey, what's up, Cuts by Jones? Appreciate you, man.
To lose.
Yeah,
and I want to get to Mario asked a comment. What would it take for Bam to be this famous? And we should shine on Bam.
Yeah,
because Bam's a superior fighter.
Absolutely. Yeah. Bam, of course. Yeah, Bam was amazing. I mean, that win against Estrada was legendary, man. It's amazing. And this is actually an interesting juxtaposition of us as a society, because Bam, he should be as talked about as a Ryan Garcia and Floyd. He should be that high level. Now, there's a few things working against Bam. He's 115 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, in America, it's hard for people to get excited about 115 pounders. We love him. I mean, he's from San Antonio, so obviously, and Bam is like an amazing superior fighter. Like, watching him fight, like angles and what he's doing in the ring, like it's like he's like a savant in there, man. Like, and he's only 24 years old. That's what's wild. Like, if you watch boxing and know boxing, you see all these little things that he's doing, like foot feints and angles and moving. Like, that's something that like Floyd was doing. You know what I mean? Like, after years of earning a craft, you know what I mean? That's something that like Muhammad Ali was doing. Like I'm telling you, like and I'm not trying to be like over hyping this, but like he is doing things that like legendary fighters do, like Sugar Ray Leonard, like all that kind of stuff. And he's only 24. Again, being in such a low weight class, there's not a big name. If Bam weighed 20, 30, 40 pounds more than he does right now, oh man, he'd be.
If he was at 140, 147.
If he was at 140, yeah, he'd be such a star.
This discussion here is really good. So I think it's time for the listeners to chime in here. So we're going to go ahead and open up the Diamond Hard phone lines,
there
man. So let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor, MCS General Contracting.
As we wait for a call, we should. To your point about Bam, though, do you think he could sell out in San Antonio?
Oh
absolutely. Yeah, he should. And
that would be the next move.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would love for the Estrada fight to be here. Yeah. The next one, if they do.
So if you all want to call into the Diamond Hard phone lines, the lines are now open, man. Just go ahead and call the number on screen.
Oh, there you go.
If you got something to say, you want to chime in, we'll go ahead and bring you on. You can be part of the discussion.
Yeah. But no, like Dar was saying, I think Bam would sell out here. That'd be huge. Juan Francisco Estrada has a rematch clause, even though, I mean, I don't think we need one because he pretty much beat him down.
But he said he said in the moment he was going to.
Yeah, Estrada said he wants a rematch. And I mean, I believe it. I believe that he does want one. I'll tell you what, he was trying to get up. Like, if you watch that fight, his mind was like, get up. And he's a warrior. Like, let's not discount this as like Estrada was like an easy win. Like, he's not. He's a warrior. So I think he will want that rematch. And I would love for it to be here in San Antonio. Yeah. Like, why not? I think Bam hasn't fought here since like the Techport Arena days, which was early in his career. So Bam coming into a big fight, Eddie Hearn, bringing everybody here to the Frostbank would be amazing, man. And yeah, like, again, Bam is doing everything the right way, right? He's winning the right way. He's quiet. He's not in the news for the wrong reasons. Again, pick your poison. Like you like that, but he's not going to get the national attention, which, hey, I think if he just continues to do things the right way and does what he needs to do, he'll be a star. It's just, I think it's more about the weight class he fights in. I think that's the thing that's kind of, and you can't do nothing about that, right? Like, I mean, he weighs what he weighs. Like, I mean, if he goes up to 122 to fight Inoue, I mean, that would be a huge fight, Inoue, the monster from Japan. But even that, like, in America, people are like, and it'd be tough for him to make, it sounds like, whoa, 115, 120, that's not a big deal. It is a big deal. I mean, Bam started at like 108, he's moved up to 115.
Yeah.
So, but man, shout out to Bam though, man. That fight was amazing.
He looked amazing. So to Mario's point, and everybody else, if you want him to be as big as Ryan, then give him the attention.
Right.
Watch his fights.
Yeah.
Right now, he's just on the zone, so
Mhm.
just subscribe and watch him.
Yeah.
That's how they determine it.
Yeah.
With apps nowadays, it's probably
Yeah.
easier than ever to determine
Right.
how many streams did this fight.
Yeah. Right. And it's tough. You want to talk about there's been a few little guys like Michael Carvajal, Chiquita Gonzalez, Ricardo Finito Lopez, those guys that kind of, the Johnny Tapias and that kind of broke into the American like big star, fights. They fought on pay-per-view and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think Bam will get there. And it's, again, he's just doing what he's supposed to, and like he's gonna catch notice. He's gonna catch notice the right way, and
He's Tim Duncan.
there you go. That's a good way to
Tim
put it. There's a good way of putting it. He's Tim Duncan. He's gonna do the right thing for the right reasons. It might not be flashy and sexy to the untrained eye.
Yeah.
But that's a good point. That's a good analogy. That Bam is more like a Tim Duncan.
Tony Ornelas actually just gave us a little bit of
Pledges on here saying he's scared Mikey.
Yeah,
Pledge you scared him all the way to Vegas.
he's
probably in his
scared
room
Frank
right
pretty
now.
bad. He didn't show up today.
He didn't want to take the calls. He didn't want to take the
No,
smoke.
but Tony Ornelas was kind of sharing some breaking news with us here. He was letting us know that they have some breaking news that the
Mhm.
Spurs are rumored to be interested in one Brandon Ingram.
Oh wow.
And says sources have told the Hoops Wire that the San Antonio Spurs and Charlotte Hornets have emerged as potential Ingram suitors, as have the Atlanta Hawks, who will soon officially be moving a guard. They said so.
Murray.
It's they're trying to make some moves, man. So
Brandon Ingram would be nice.
He fits in the roster right away.
Yeah.
You put him at the
Oh
3.
yeah.
He fits
No, Brandon
he
Ingram
fits
would be
right
really
away.
nice. Yeah. And again, we got myself and Spurs and Salsa here talking boxing, talking Spurs, talking all things Puro.
and Mario Cavazos just dropped us with some love here.
Yeah.
$4.99 super chat.
For Bam's Taco Fun, 120 si se puede. I hear that, bro. I hear that. We can get you there, man. You don't need no strength and conditioning, bro. We get you some tacos,
Hey, man.
bro, and we
he's
get
from
Bam
here.
to 120.
He don't need no tacos right now, bro. He's a world champion, man.
Oh man, he is, man. He's out in Tokyo actually, right? He left Phoenix for Tokyo.
Yeah.
He has a tie to Tekken Promotions out of Japan, or some of his earlier promoters, and he always shows love to them,
That's
man,
good.
which is really cool.
Yeah, and you can see there the video showing
Yeah.
Bam right there.
This is really cool. If you haven't seen this video, this is like one of those like they used to have like 24/7 on HBO and all that kind of stuff. This is like the Zone's version of that. But what's cool about it is it's short. It's like 15 minutes, but it's like the epilogue of after the fight. And we were watching it yesterday, Steph and I. And it just kind of goes through like right before the fight. I didn't realize this. I don't know if you did, but on this show, they showed that there was like a glove controversy. They made Estrada take his gloves off and
No, I didn't. I didn't
Yeah.
watch that.
Yeah. I didn't realize this until we saw this yesterday. Because if you if you do know, when a fighter gets their hands wrapped and gloved, a member from the other opposite camp is supposed to be there to watch, right? To make sure everything's good, whatever. It's just part of how they do things. Well, I guess Estrada gloved up before the Bam camp was there.
Oh.
So then you have Robert Garcia and his son in there talking, and they're like telling him, "No, man, take the gloves off," And they're like, "Well, they don't want to," and it's this whole big old deal. They end up taking the gloves off. They end up taking them. Yeah, you have to. Yeah. So they take the gloves off. They re-put them back on. Is it a little mind games, gamemanship? It could be, but at the end of the day, that is part of the contract to say another member of the camp is supposed to be there while you glove up and all that stuff.
We got another chat in here, super chat from Tex-Mex Frank. He's saying, "Buenos dias, ladies and gentlemen. Your diamond hard efforts on and off the air are shining." He goes, "Can we get a happy Friday grito?"
Hey,
I got to go ahead and pull up the grito, man. So let me go ahead and get that going for you guys.
Now, going back to the Spurs with Brandon Ingram, I don't know how much stock you put into rumors, but the Spurs seem very active.
Yeah.
And between trading one of your top picks, and now being active for Laurie or Brandon, it seems like the Spurs not all in, but they want to bring in more vets. Oh, and CP3,
right. Yeah, and
they've shifted. I think they've shifted thought. I know on Twitter it's either go get all the free agents.
It's all or nothing.
Or it's either team go get all the free agents, and then there's team. Keep all your draft.
Keep all your
draft.
keep all your
It seems like the Spurs are kind of leaning more free agent or trade bait.
Yeah, and I just again we're all on Twitter /X, and we of course there's all these factions, right? And everybody has their opinions, and again, things aren't just as simple as they are. I always say that, like that's how life is, right? Things aren't simple as they're only doing this or they're only doing that. There's a combination and a mixture.
Yeah.
I do think that going for CP3, even just, I mean, how often have we heard before back in the day of Spurs being even involved in like a lot of these talks or whatever, right? So to me, and I mean, again, I know there's like it came from guys like Chris Haynes or whatever. So I mean, I do believe that they are actively involved in talks for Laurie, maybe now for Brandon Ingram, for whoever.
I think the Laurie's talks maybe have stalled. That's why the Spurs are now being rumored in Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, but
maybe the asking price was too high.
Sure. And I guess the point I'm just trying to make is like, I know everybody's like, well, fire Brian Wright, or Brian Wright ain't doing nothing, or Brian Wright's at the sleep at the wheel. And then there's like, oh, well, you're just a Brian Wright apologist, whatever. Like, I'm not, again, I don't know what he's doing or not doing. I don't
anybody
know.
Does.
Nobody does, but some people pretend they do know.
The insiders.
They act like they know. The point I'm trying to make is they look like they are in the attempts and they're trying. And I know it's not like, oh, participation ribbon. I'm not saying that, but like, you gotta, I mean, all you can do is put your name in the hat and try and make these deals. And if they don't pan out, it's not that they didn't do anything or weren't trying to do anything.
And what I'll say this. I didn't like Brian Wright only because all his moves had been to tank, which it worked.
Right.
He had always traded players like a Derek White for picks.
Yeah.
But this is the first offseason where I've seen.
All right, now what are you gonna do?
Now what are you gonna? Yeah. So to your point, if it doesn't work out, we at least see what they're trying to do. And I think for Spurs fans, you need to realize whether your team keep the picks or team trade them all for players.
Yeah,
they're obviously in the hunt for Brandon Ingram, for marketing.
Yeah.
So I think we all have to accept it, whether you're on one side or the other. The Spurs are trading, and I know the side that wants to keep the picks or the side that they'll always say, "Oh, that's too pricey. That everything's too pricey." At the end of the day, the Spurs are going to decide what they want to give up and what they don't want to give up. So there is a shift in the front office. They are obviously actively looking for help. Yeah,
I mean, like I said, and that's what it looks like, right? It looks like that they're trying, they're actively, they're talking, and we don't know all these. Like people keep saying like, if I like Laurie, I do, I would love him there, but to give the farm for him, you know what I mean? To give everything, like
he's for a 1-year rental because his contract's going to expire,
and I don't think it'd be a 1-year rental. I think part of the deal would be an extension.
Well, I'm saying that's what the deal is going to look like. You make a trade and all that. Spurs fans don't understand the long game. You know, they're going to go ahead and get him. They're going to bring him over here, give up some picks, maybe give up some players that Spurs fans are enamored with. Yeah. And they're like, well, for what? It's a 1-year rental. He's going to walk. Well, they can extend him during the context of the regular season.
Spurs
you know?
aren't stupid. They're not
I think, and anything can happen, but I do think that they would have to have some kind of warm and fuzzy that like, hey, he's going to stay, right? Or whatever, right? I mean, again, I'm trying to find like a real world analogy for this because it's like people talk, like it's just like anything else. It's like if I ask you to like, you know, hey, can you come over to my house and help me with something, whatever? There's a chance that you don't come or whatever, but I have like a pretty good understanding that like, okay, I know Dyer, I know he's free tomorrow. He's probably gonna come, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna come help me with what I need him to help me with. Now, if something comes up and you don't end up coming, I'm not gonna be like, Dyer, man, like I knew, you know, but that's just how it is. Like, but that's and again, it's just. And it's probably back to this whole like social media putting a flashlight on everything and not even a spotlight on everything. These things have happened the same way years ago. It just wasn't so readily in everyone's hands and everybody's face. You know what I mean?
She kind of put this sharing the news there on the X about Brandon Ingram.
And I'll say this as Spurs fans, it's okay to change your mind when new information comes. Like for me, I thought Brian Wright didn't do anything but trade away. Now that I know that they're actively in the mix for players, I'm changing my mind. I think Brian Wright has shifted focus. Right. It's okay to come off of the narrative that you held on so tight.
Well, and I look at what Mike's saying. He goes, why the sudden change from the Spurs front office? Pressure from Wemby. And that's the thing. Wemby wants to win now. Sure. He even saw last season when they weren't winning, they were on their losing streaks. He was visibly frustrated because they lost some close games there. The Spurs had some of these games, and they lost it in the winning seconds because of, miscues. They made mistakes out there on the court. And Wemby wants to win. Sometimes Wemby was like, you know what? F all that. We're winning this game.
Well, to Jimenez's point, what I just said, the Spurs did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we got Wemby. We don't know how good he is.
Yeah.
We don't know how fast it is. They've shifted. They said,
Yeah.
okay, he's actually really, really good.
Yeah.
We're going to start going all in on these Lauries and all these
Yeah.
Brandon Ingrams.
Well, yeah.
It's okay to shift focus.
Right.
When you get new information, it's okay to shift your narrative.
Right. Well, I think what the problem with that is, and that's why I always say this, like, I don't ever want to talk in absolutes. I think what the issue is people say things like, I know for a fact this.
Yeah.
And then when it's some new information comes, you're either going to backpedal and say, oh, well, this new information, or you're just going to like stick to it regardless.
Thing, yes.
And that's what it is.
Yes.
And that's why, people, what happens is, it's almost like it's an ego thing where it's like, I want to be right. So if I said, Brian Wright ain't doing nothing, no matter what he does, I'm still going to say, well, he really ain't doing nothing. Like, I'm going to somehow massage things to my narrative that I want, or that's how some people feel or whatever. And that's why I like to say things like, look, I don't know. It could be this, it could be that. Yeah. So when new information comes, that's how you stay flex, whatever. And ultimately, none of this matters because, like, it's not like the front office is asking us for our opinions or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So ultimately, none of this matters. And again, it's just kind of funny when people kind of, I know we're fans, theoretical, but people think like, or it's funny to me when people say stuff like, oh, well, you don't want them to draft or to trade the picks, whatever. Even if I don't want to trade the picks, doesn't mean the Spurs are going to listen to me. So it doesn't matter. Well, but it's just, we get so wrapped up and we want to be part of the game and we want to feel like we're there and we're involved and all that stuff. But it's just interesting. It's just people's egos and takes.
Yeah, one of the things that's been rumored too that I saw kind of picking up a little bit of steam over the last couple of days is we had talked about the Spurs signing DeMar DeRozan because he is available. Yeah, they could get him, for the cheap. Yeah. Maybe get him as a 1-year rental, 2-year deal, second year is an option. So basically a 1-year rental. And a lot of Spurs fans are like, no, I don't want him back on the team. Mm-hmm. Y'all didn't appreciate him when he was here, for one. Yeah. We're 500. It wasn't all on him, man. It's like, this wasn't all his fault, but he was a good player out there on the court. Why wouldn't you want him back? He would make the team better. I get that. I know Spurs fans have an issue. They're like, well, we're trying to tank because of next year's draft. It's so stacked that there's still picks going to be available even in the latter portions of that draft. So you could still get quality players. If you want the team to get better, do you want the team to get better now? Or do you want them to go ahead and just be forever laden going into the draft because, it's another stacked draft. Oh, it's another stacked draft. At some point, the Spurs fans have to pick their poison.
I think there's a section of Spurs fans that are afraid to start trying. Because if you're always tanking and you're stacking picks, the future's always bright.
Right. You have that hope, I guess.
But if you start trading picks and you start trying to win, you might fail. Right. And I think some fans are like, what if we fail? What if we trade for Laurie and it doesn't work? What? They're afraid of the real future because you can have this fantasy where you have, because let's be honest, the Spurs could have 4 first-round picks next year. They can't use all those.
Right.
You're not going to bring in 4 rookies.
Roster spots, paying them. Whose spots are they going to take? All that good stuff.
You can't be afraid of the future because you look at Dallas, right? They got Luka, and they went all in with Kyrie. And they worked to a degree. They weren't afraid.
Right.
And I do agree with Pledge. DeMar doesn't really fit. The only way DeMar fits on this roster is if Vassell was part of a trade for, let's say, Laurie. And then you're bringing in Laurie and DeRozan. Right. But now that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole restructure of the roster.
Yeah, but Spurs fans are like, well, the only 2 players that are untouchable are Wemby and Vassell. And I'm like, the only person that's untouchable is Wemby.
Yeah. Now, I like Vassell a lot.
Of course. Yeah.
But he's not untouchable. Nobody's untouchable but
exactly.
Wemby.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, case in point, look at what happened with Malik Rose. Look at what happened with Avery Johnson. Sean Elliott.
Yeah.
George Hill.
Yeah. And my only thing too is like when we say things like Spurs fans, there's so many different like factions and different whatever. So
cliques.
So like the people that don't think like me, that's who I'm talking. And I'm not saying me. I'm saying like the people that don't think like me. When I say Spurs fans want this, I'm talking about those other people, right? And they're talking about these other people, right? Yeah. And all this. So it's just so crazy, man. Like at the end of the day, though, there's always going to be somebody upset with something. I guarantee you. You draft or if you get marketing, there's going to be a group that's like not happy with it. If you stay with the picks, whatever, there's going to be another group not happy with it. I mean, you could probably bring in Giannis, and I guarantee you will find somebody that's not happy.
He's too old.
You could bring Luka in with Wemby. Someone's not going to be happy. So ultimately, you're not going to please everybody, and that's how life is. Life is like that. You're not going to please everybody. So the good thing is they're not trying to please us. They're not trying to do that. They're trying to build what they think is a winning roster to go forward. Whether we agree with that or not, it remains to be seen. I guess that's how I look at it.
Yeah, and my main point was they're obviously trying to get better now because they're in these trade talks. Yeah, and they have a war chest of trade of draft picks where they can do it. Yeah, and they're obviously working towards it. Yeah. So for the Spurs fans that want to hold on to picks, it might be a rough summer because they're in talks. And for the Spurs fans that don't think this guy's worth it or this guy's worth it, it might be rough for you too because they're probably going to trade for someone. Yeah.
You know, one of the things that we have to think about too is Spurs fans. I was thinking about this over, the last couple of days. They're so upset, and you have the factions fighting with the Spurs Twitter amongst themselves. And we've seen it's been the worst that it's ever been. Right. Because Spurs fans are spoiled. Right. Yeah. But the thing that Spurs fans are missing here in these rebuilding years is you're missing the ride. Because it means so much when the team actually starts to win that you don't enjoy the ride. You don't enjoy this team building, this team getting, gelling together, getting better. And that's part of the whole appeal of sports is your team watching them get better, right? Watching them rise. It's important because you miss that because, they're no good and this and that. And all you're fixated on is, being critical of the front office, being critical of Coach Pop, being critical of every little thing that's happening because Spurs fans are spoiled that the team isn't winning. And what they're not letting themselves do is allow the building process, allow the ride.
To play devil's advocate, it's been a while since they've been in the playoffs.
I understand that, but I'm saying that's why it's so special when your team gets back there.
Yeah. You got to remember this franchise up until this last run, they had only missed the playoffs like 4 times in the history of the franchise,
which is wild.
It's one of the winningest franchises. Yeah. So it's a little spoiledness, but it's been a while, and I see that. But what I wanted to ask you guys, because I saw somebody say, "Don't trade the Atlanta pick in 2025." Is that untouchable to you guys?
I wouldn't call it untouchable.
It's valuable.
It's valuable. Yeah, I think, or it has the potential to to be valuable.
Exactly.
I see. So I gotta be careful with my words sometimes. It might not so yeah, no, I do because I'm trying. Honestly, like I could see everybody's points. Like I really can, man. I don't know. We were talking about like Spurs Twitter and factions. This has been a thing. Like honestly, some of us have been on. Well, my other account got hacked, but
but at the time that it did, he had like 10,000 people following him. Man.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my first Twitter got hacked. That's a story for another day. But back in 09 and 10 and 12, they had these like Tony is washed factions.
Speaking of which, right on cue.
Pop is washed. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember, and I never forget this. And then some of them are still on Spurs Twitter, so they know who they are. Even in 2012, it was like Tony's washed. Yeah. He's done. We need to get rid of him. This, that, and the third. So there's always been this like discourse and factions within Spurs Twitter, but it was like, I think it was like team positive versus team negative, and that was the only. Then now it's like NWO, like it's branched off into all the Wolf Packs and all the
that we haven't done,
Cobra Kai, like Wolf Fang and all these different factions have broken out. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just, it's funny, man, and I can see people's points, and I'm not gonna argue with somebody, man. I'm not gonna try to make somebody. I'm not gonna try to turn somebody into what my opinion is. Yeah. I'm really not.
And that's what I was gonna ask right now. One thing that we haven't done is we haven't asked Chicana Fuerte's opinion, because she brings a different perspective being a woman, and you're seeing these games with Rick, right? You've been to these games, you've been to a lot of games, even road games, you've seen all these fans. What's your opinion right now as far as the Spurs not winning but still enjoying the experience?
I mean, we have the greatest fan aspect. The ones that do travel, they're more on like, hey, we're here to watch our team, we're gonna grow with them, we're gonna be with them, and man, they're gonna break our hearts. I have a feeling they're gonna get rid of. I mean, they can get rid of Zach. I mean,
she loves Zach. She's like the only Zach Collins stan in
we gotta get her the jersey, bro.
Speaking of Zach Collins stan, it was so funny because Sam, on the X, she was like, did you do this?
Oh
Steph?"
yeah, somebody made a Zach Collins
Zach
move.
saw that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she was
And
like,
our
"Is this
friend
you?"
Sam from Australia thought it was Chicano
Oh,
Fuerte.
man.
And
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, I looked at Rick. I was like, oh my god, I should have made an account like that.
Yeah, why did I think of
Why
that?
did I not
Yeah.
think of that?
Yeah.
But no, we're gonna start winning.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and Wemby's tired of it, and actually, like, I'm pretty sure, like, the dad's like, hey, no, we didn't come to lose.
Well, let me
winning
ask
right
you a
now.
question,
So she's-
Steph. When
she's
you go to
team win
these
now.
games, right, and you're just there, you're having fun, you're enjoying the ride, right?
Right.
Whether the team wins or loses, do you have fun at the games?
Man,
man.
there are some times where we're having so much fun, and it's like we adapt to the environment.
Yeah.
You know, and half the time we're like, oh wait, like we are actively just watching. The
Yeah.
score goes out of our head, and we're watching the players play.
And then we see you guys out there on the Jumbotron
And
dancing, having a good
Jumbotron,
time, you
dancing.
know?
Well, yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because I
Yeah.
was gonna say that. And again, I know people are gonna
And then people do come up to us, and we're just there, like, you know, we're networking, we're
Having fun.
yeah,
fun.
it is. I'm telling you, man. And again, people get all wrapped up, and I'm not trying to just be like, oh, everything's happy, positive, and the front office can do no wrong. I'm not saying that. What I will say is, again, we're season ticket holders. We go to the games. There's a lot of people there, so I think like these negative stuff is like it's a small group. Like it seems like it's like this. It really isn't, because there's a lot of people in that arena having fun. We're having, you know, we go to the games and we have a blast, man. Like,
and everybody comes to you with their opinions. Hey, man, they're
Yeah,
losing right now, but they're
yeah.
gonna get better.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they're positive,
And
right?
I think there's a difference, and I said this one time, and I know you chimed in this. There is a difference between, and again, people are probably gonna be upset about this. There's like Spurs fans that are like don't live here, and then there's like San Antonio Spurs fans that live that are, I'm not before people jump down my throat. I'm not saying you have to live in San Antonio to be a big fan, or
Exactly.
you're.
You don't
I'm not
have to
saying, I'm
live
not
here.
saying that you're not a real fan because you don't
Yeah.
live here. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is, if you live somewhere else and you're a fan, and first of all, I commend you. Like, that's awesome. Listen, I live in San Diego right now. I've lived all over, and I've met Spurs fans, you know, onesie twosies, you know, here and there when I was in North Carolina, whatever. If you live somewhere else and you're a fan, hell, I met fans in Korea. I met a Spurs fan in Seoul, right? So if you're a fan from abroad or you live somewhere else, first of all, that's pretty badass because you're not even from here and you're a fan. I commend you. I respect that.
Philippines
Wherever you
has a
live.
massive Spurs following, man.
Absolutely. But if you're a fan and you just watch online or on Twitter and you watch the games on TV, whatever, okay, that's one thing. But if you're from here and it's ingrained in your culture, like I always say this, like my grandma loves the Spurs, but she couldn't tell you what an assist is.
But does that
You know what
make
I
her
mean?
any less of a fan?
That's what I'm
She's
saying.
supporting the
That's what
team.
I'm saying. So there's just something about this community that we grew up in, watching the team, year in, year out, you know. And again, I'm not saying that, you know, people say things like, oh, you got a guy like Keldon Johnson. He's a great for the community. He's this and that and there, but we don't want him on our team. I get that. Like, I'm not saying like these guys are like superstars or all-stars or untradeable, but they do a lot in the community. They do things like Sandro was at, you know, the little gathering that they had not too long ago, signing for everybody, taking pictures with people. I mean, I know
Zach
that's
Collins was at Methodist Hospital a few weeks ago talking to the nurses.
Right.
My wife works there.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that keep them just for that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, though, there is a bond. There is something there that people get attached and enamored with. Now, on the flip side of that, when they do leave, hey, thank you for your service. I love, you know, and then we move on. Like, I mean, that's kind of how I try to be. You know what I mean? Like a guy like Drew Eubanks, for instance. Love the guy. He was here. He was awesome. Never going to be an all-star. Never going to be Drew Eubanks is untraded, you know, is untouchable.
He's a great guy off the bench, man.
He's a great
an
guy,
energy
you know,
player.
So I don't know, man. I just, that's kind of, it depends on like how you became a fan, or how do you see that?
You have
stuff,
the gatekeepers, is what I call them, and they're the ones that are telling other people how to fan. Nobody should tell you how to be a fan. You should be a fan of
one way
anything,
or the other,
however you want.
You'll see. Oh, well, they don't like the front office, so they're not a fan.
Yeah, you're not a real fan. You don't know ball, this and that. I'm just like, man, it don't matter, dude.
And if somebody disagrees with what I say or whatever, I try not to go that route of like, well, you don't know ball, or you don't know, like, because that's silly. You know what I mean? That's silly at the end of the day. You know, like, look at that. We got our man from the Netherlands, right? He's been a fan since David Robinson days. That's awesome, man.
Oh, look at this. It's the same. His mama was buried in her Tim Duncan jersey, and he wore her Parker jersey as pallbearers. Dang,
I mean,
man.
that's hard. That's hardcore, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. So I think like a point I'm trying to make is, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for other people, but we go to the games, Chicana Fuerte and I, we have a good time. We have a blast, whether they win, whether they lose. We go to games in Phoenix. We go to games in LA. Lately they've been losing, unfortunately, they've been losing, but
it still doesn't cheapen the experience.
It doesn't. I don't think so. I mean, I think so. Now, of course, winning and getting the playoffs is
even
awesome,
better,
and is the, and I guess it's just, again, being critical of the front office. They ain't gonna listen to me. So I don't know. I try not to put that negative out there. That's just the way I look at it. But I'm not saying that I'm not saying like, well, you should never be negative or you should never be critical of the front office. I'm not saying that. Like, I get that, man. Like, nobody's perfect, man. Nobody's infallible. Like, they've made mistakes. They've done the Primo thing. They did what was the other guy?
Fake Luca.
The other Luca, the Samanich, right? Like, yeah, like
Sandwich,
that. Yeah,
like
yeah. Yeah. Looking back, like that was a horrible pick, man.
And I think that's the thing is, there is the Spurs were the best front office in all of sports for like 20, 25 years.
Right.
So they have this bulletproof vest with some fans where you can't say anything wrong.
Yeah.
And then I think then there's other people that think, oh, well, Tim Duncan carried them.
Right.
There's no absolute.
Yeah.
Like, to me, you can criticize some moves and you can enjoy these moves. Like with Brian Wright.
Yeah.
He did a great job with the Jakob trade.
Yeah.
The Derek White trade doesn't look as great.
Look at Harry Austin.
Everybody wins and loses.
Hey, your guy Harry Austin. Awesome to see Spurs and South on the big
screen.
But
look at what he says.
Oh God.
Despite his is this the Broncos fan?
Yeah,
is this the Broncos fan? Yeah, my man. What's up?
He's cool. Harry Austin's legit. He
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
gave me a San Antonio FC tickets one time. That was amazing. He's awesome. That's the biggest San Antonio FC fan.
That's cool, man. And that's the thing, man. I laugh stuff off, man. Like, people will get on Twitter and say crazy things or whatever. I try to laugh most of that stuff off, man. Like, it's not personal, man. It is what it is. We've actually met people from Twitter that are I've not had a bad experience yet of somebody that I've met off of Twitter, like in person. Like, we've, Chicana Fuerte and I.
We've like grown friends from them.
Yeah. And it's
They're like, oh my God, you guys are the same off and on the street.
Is there a second like button we can hit? I wish there was like second subscribe buttons. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
hey, we appreciate the love, though, man.
Absolutely.
We really do.
Yeah.
But we're always talking about Spurs, and we need to start talking about Summer League, because Summer League is going to be starting this Saturday.
Yes.
I know Rick.
Yes.
He liked to travel, man.
Yeah.
Will you be at Summer League this year?
Absolutely. I will be in Vegas. So it's been a tradition for my sons and I. We've gone since 2015, which was the year when Kyle Anderson was there and Becky was the coach. They won the championship.
They gave her the reins to coach the team.
So the first year that I went to Summer League with my sons, it was that year. So it was 15. It was after they had won the championship. Kyle Anderson was a rookie.
Was that the infamous Kawhi incident?
No. That was later. There's a few like pretty infamous Summer League situations that I've been in. But the first year we went was the year that Becky was the coach and they won the championship. And ever since 2015, my sons and I have gone every year. It's like a father-son tradition. It's so fun, man. It's so I'm telling you, if you guys have a bucket list,
have you met there, man? Like,
oh man, most
coaches, players.
The cool thing is a lot of the coaches and like scouts and all that. A lot of them are former players. You got guys like Malik Rose walking around there. You got guys, they're just, you got Woj Shams walking around there. I'll never forget, I'm walking and I look over and I see Shams just standing there with his phone. I'm like, who's he talking to? What info is he getting? You know what I mean? The dude has like a few phones, and it's just wild seeing people like that.
He has more than a few. He's
got
a whole bunch.
I'm telling you, if you are a basketball fan, no matter what team, that your bucket list should be the Vegas Summer League. Like, it's a really good time. It's
Coach Gio, man, has me dying here. Coach Gio, you're crazy. I've had nothing but bad experiences with Cowboys fans.
And I'll tell you what, Cowboys Twitter is way more tame than Spurs Twitter.
Yeah.
Are you serious, dude?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Cowboys Twitter seems to always be on the same page.
Yeah.
Because you're allowed to criticize.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to be a fan.
Mhm.
Like, even the Dak. Like, Dak's such a lightning rod for conversation. Even when they're arguing about Dak, it never gets as ugly.
Yeah.
As it does
Tim
for
Gonzalez says, "Hey, Joe, I got a question for all of y'all."
Shoot, Tim.
Shoot, Tim.
Shoot your shot, baby. While we're waiting for Tim's question. Yeah, man.
But going back to Summer League, will it be more fun now that the Spurs are in so many trade talks?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Checking your phone during games.
Yeah,
man.
I think so because you're kind of like things happen during the summer
mix.
league, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're in the
It's
mix.
exciting, right?
Yeah.
They're watching somebody
It is.
young develop,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
then you're like, oh, breaking news.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about this summer league is that you're gonna have City Sissoko
Yeah.
leading that summer league team, man.
City's gonna be balling.
Yeah.
City's gonna be balling. Obviously, we're gonna see
Castle.
Stephon Castle.
I'm ready to see Castle.
Yeah.
Harrison everybody
Ingram.
is, man.
You know what's an interesting roster is Jameer Nelson Jr.
Oh,
Jameer Nelson
that.
Jr. is going to be on the
I felt
Spurs summer
old
league
when I
team.
saw
Yeah, for real, dude.
Jameer Nelson,
daddy?
his dad. Yeah. So he's going to be on the roster. It's a fun team, man. There's a couple of guys from the Austin Spurs. Our guy Willis Hall is one of the coaches. He used to be a coach for the Spurs, and he's a friend of ours.
But another thing about City, he lost 20
Oh
pounds.
man, yeah.
Ooh, man, he's gonna be flying out there on the court now.
It's because the
Yeah.
it's because the tacos in Austin suck.
Yeah.
Wemby gained weight here.
Right?
He's probably
Yeah.
been eating those torchy tacos, dude.
City-
He's like,
yeah.
man,
Hey,
City lost weight.
I like tortillas.
Yeah,
torchies
City-
$5 a taco, man. Come on,
It's expensive.
Yeah,
expensive, man.
City's looking slim down. He's looking sharp, man. I think we're gonna see a leap from City this year,
That'd
man.
be
Man,
nice.
if that
That'd be
bag
nice,
ain't and doesn't have all that grease on it, I don't want it.
Wemby last year Summer League was wild.
Well,
It was
that's a
wild.
different experience.
Yeah, that was so crazy.
That's gonna be the
I was
most
my
rare.
sons and I were on a Bleacher Report thing about people that were waiting in
Being there
line.
so early.
Oh,
Yeah, people
man.
were waiting in line. So here's a
How long was that
this
line
is
when
what,
you were
yeah,
there?
This is what happened on the Summer League for
It's so
last year with
funny.
Wemby. We it was like a Saturday. So we showed up in Vegas Friday night, right? We just got to the Airbnb, slept, whatever. I told my sons, I said, you know what? I'm gonna wake up early,
Yeah.
get some coffee. I'm just gonna drive by the Thomas and Mack Center just to see the vibe. This is like at 7-8 in the morning. The
Jeez,
doors don't
bro.
open till like noon or something.
Thankfully, you're on Texas time too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The doors don't open till like noon or something. So I'm like 7-8 in the morning. Like, man, I'm gonna go just drive by, see what's going on. I go up there and
I'm
there's
on
a
the phone
kid.
with
Yeah. I'm on the phone with her. She's in my ear for the AirPod. There's a kid asleep, like in a sleeping
Jeez.
bag, asleep on the deck in line for the summer league. And he's real quick. We'll get to this chat. What do we got here from our guy John
G. Thanks,
thank
John
you.
G, for the $1.99
Found the
super
second
chat.
like button. There you go.
Thanks, John.
There you go.
Appreciate you.
But yeah, man. So this kid is asleep, waiting, and I'm already like, he ain't just for him. I guarantee you, he's holding like 5 spots or something. You know.
yeah.
So I know there's people already waiting.
They be
This is at
camped
like
out?
7-8 in the morning, camping out. Yeah, and the doors don't open till like noon or whatever. And I said,
Jeez,
"F
man.
this." I told my sons, "Hey, y'all better get up and get ready or whatever you're
They're
gonna
putting
do."
us to shame.
Because I wasn't like ready to go. I was just chilling. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back to the Airbnb, get dressed, get ready, and I'm coming back to get in line.
They
Like,
they
I'm not
motivated
messing
you, all
Yeah.
those people.
Yeah, exactly. So I went
Yeah.
back, got in line, and we were like the 4th or 5th in line.
But how
and
many
then,
Spurs fans?
oh
did you
my
see,
dude, there was so many
Right?
fans, man. And they started getting wrapped around the door. It was a wild.
Because
'Cause
you
the thing
shared a video, I think, in
Yeah.
a photo with me.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
were
yeah.
like, "Hey, bro, look at how
Yeah,
it is this
Because
early."
basically the way the summer league works is you can buy like ringside. I always say ringside, courtside or whatever. You can buy, but they're like crazy. You could buy $40 seats, and those are general admission.
And isn't it
Basically,
for the whole
it's
day,
first come
right?
first serve. Yeah, it's for the whole day.
Yeah.
So basically, you buy the $40 general admission tickets, and it's first come first serve. So they open the doors, and you could get. I was right. I was the first row of the general admission. Basically, the people like one row in front of me paid like $500 to sit there. You know what I mean?
man, that's
Because
crazy,
you
dude.
can pay the reserve seating for summer league.
Yeah.
But that's like, I mean, those are usually like the players' families or people like that or whatever,
Yeah.
like I said. But you buy $40 seats, and if you get there early enough, you get down, and like I was right there, right? And the good thing about it too, though, is like there's all these games going on. So like if you're a Lakers fan, you're gonna be down there during the Laker game. They leave after that game. So if the Spurs are next, so you're alternating. It's not like you
like
just
a-
sit there
yeah,
the
it's
whole
like a
day,
tournament.
So basically, you have a really good chance to get really low seats for $40, which is pretty unheard of to see,
Yeah.
an NBA game. Now, of course, you got the rookies, the second year guys, the undrafted guys, but a lot of the like star players will come and watch, their team, so
And not
you
only
know.
that, but they watch the other young
of
talent,
course,
you know?
exactly. Like, you got Bronny this year, right? Bronny's
Yeah.
gonna be there, so Daddy's gonna be in the house. So it's fun, man. Summer league is fun. It's really interactive. There's the Cox Pavilion, there's the Thomas and Mack Center. So you'll see people kind of walking around the concourse or the in between.
And you already
stuff.
know where everybody's at, the
Oh, bro.
coaches and the players. Infamous for taking pictures.
exactly, bro. So I see Brent Barry there every year. every year I see Brent Berry there. And I even told him, I said, man, my summer league tradition is taking a picture with you. So I always see Brent Berry.
Look at Tony Ornelas. He's asking a good question for you, Rick. What's my budget if I want to take my family to Vegas for summer league next year?
Yeah.
Family of 4, wife, and my twin kiddos.
That's awesome.
Will be 10 years old, man.
Man, I'm telling you, bro, the summer league to get in itself is about $40. You know what I mean? Just to get in. I would recommend a family like that. Get an Airbnb off the strip. It's not going to be that pricey, man. Like you could find a cheap Airbnb off the strip.
Oh, the hotels going to be
expensive. The
expensive.
hotels on the strip, of course, are going to be expensive. Now, here's another thing, though. You go into those hotels on the strip, they got players just walking around there. I saw DeMarcus Cousins one time at the crap table, and he had this whole group around him, and he was just throwing. I was like, I don't even want to know how much he's throwing for. So you go to those hotels, and you'll see the players walking around, running around there. I saw Becky when Ime Udoka was with the Spurs. Becky, Ime, and I think it was Will Hardy or maybe somebody else sitting at the roulette table one time. And I was going to go sit there, man, because I love roulette, but there was no seats there. I was going to go all casual, just like, I'm going to sit here and play roulette, act like I don't know who they are, but there was no seat there. But no, man, for Tony, man, and his family, I would definitely suggest you get a cheap Airbnb off the strip. The Thomas and Mack Center is not even, it's kind of off the strip also. So, you literally can probably go, like I said, the $40 tickets, depending on what eat, drink, whatever, 2 days. I mean, it's probably for even all of them wouldn't know more than like $500.
Look at Jonathan C. He says, bro, join MGM Rewards, gamble comp rooms. Bro.
Absolutely. Yeah. MGM does a lot for military too. So like I do, the MGM does a lot of discounts for military.
Tim has a question.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Here it is.
If you had to build a roster.
A 10-man roster for the Spurs. Who is the top 5 starting lineup for your Spurs and 5 off the bench, plus a head coach, former Spurs only?
Man,
so what a question.
Well, you got to go.
You're talking just all-time Spurs teams?
That's what he means.
Yeah,
okay.
You got to have Tim and David.
Yeah, 5 starters, David. 5 off the bench, and a coach.
Curvin, yeah.
And then give me Manu and Tony.
Yeah.
That's your starting 5?
Yeah.
No Johnny Moore?
Ooh.
Not over Tony.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But I do love, I mean, Johnny Moore's a Longhorn too. So
yeah, I agree with that.
And then your bench, I would put Wemby already.
Yeah.
I'm going to have LaMarcus Aldridge.
Dare I say Kawhi?
I'm not putting him.
Come on.
So I got Wemby and Aldridge up.
What about Rodman?
I don't think he makes it.
No,
I got Alvin Robinson running my point.
All right.
I like that.
You look at his stats. He's a horrible human being, but he's
you know what? One of the better point guards that we've had that I think would be good coming off the bench that doesn't get enough love. Rod Strickland, dude.
But not over Alvin Robinson.
Not over Alvin Robinson, but Rod Strickland's another one of those Spurs guards here that doesn't get a lot of love, and he's one of the better ones.
He left quick.
What about Tracy McGrady, man?
Spurs legend Tracy McGrady.
Well, can I like play Back to the Future and be like when he was good?
Well, then you know, like Dominic Wilkins.
Moses Malone, Dominic Wilkins. Yeah.
So I would get
that's a good
Aldridge
question. Yeah,
and Wemby already in my front court.
No Silas Love,
huh?
No Silas Love.
Yeah, Silas is there too.
Moses Malone.
No, not as a Spur, unless you do the whole, where do you get
our guy Jonathan C has a pretty good group. He went with what we said pretty much. Tim, David, Gervin, Parker, Manu, and then he put Wemby, DeRozan, Mills, Moore, and then Bruce Bowen off the bench. I like that. Robert, we got Ori too, man. Ori's, that's man. I think the starting 5 is kind of everyone kind of can set that. The bench is where it gets fun and people start mixing.
Robert Ori had that dog in him, dude. When it came to the playoffs, he was willing to do whatever it took to win.
Sam Salinas says Gervin doesn't make his team.
What?
Well, I don't know about that.
That's a troll, right?
Yeah. Not even off the bench.
That's like he's Gervin. I don't do Spurs fans like not realize how good. I mean, Gervin was.
Yeah,
I think he was on the all-decade.
Yeah,
team.
yeah. It's like it's like with boxing arguments. About like guys like Rocky Marciano and Ali and it's hard to argue when you say, well, it was a different era and
that's why Joe was so good about bringing up like Silas.
Sure. You got to give those guys credit. You got to
bring the OGs.
And for those of you that don't know your Spurs history, I mean, the Spurs had was it 10 or 20 episode docuseries?
Yeah. Oh man, it's so cool. Yeah.
Ring Around.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is like what's crazy is like those 80s teams They were getting knocked out by Showtime
man.
Lakers.
Yeah,
If you look, they went to the Western Conference Finals sometimes against the Showtime Lakers. Like if you go back to some of those teams, they like took the Showtime Lakers to like 6 games. I don't know what year.
Man. Some of those teams were just stacked. The Blazers, the Warriors. You had the Lakers. You know,
he's talking about early 80s.
Early 80s, yeah. Like what I'm saying is those 80s Gervin teams were like
they were stacked,
were a step
bro.
away from going to the NBA championship.
I think they went to the Western Conference.
Yeah,
Finals.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They went to the Western Conference Finals a handful of times and lost to the Showtime Lakers.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like things would have been different had the Spurs won championships back then?
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's
dude.
I always think about that. We talk about the whole Pop Fire Hill, right?
Bob Hill.
Bob Hill almost again close only counts.
He got fired Gaucho though, man.
Almost and close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. I get this, but 95, man. If they were the favorites,
the number one overall,
they were the 1 seed. They were the 1 seed.
They got
Robinson was
humbled.
MVP.
They got humbled by the Rockets, bro.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man.
We had that Montel Jordan song.
Yeah. This is how we shoot it. You know what? Somebody else on Twitter had said like, "What?"
YouTube.
Yeah, they were like, "What Spurs song do you think of or something like that?" And that's what I said. I said the Montel. This is how we shoot it, right? And it's funny because it was about that 95 team.
Yeah.
If you could find that on YouTube,
it's on
listen
YouTube.
to it. Yeah.
And I think last year when they did the Alamo Dome game, they had tag team play.
Yeah.
They should have had Montel Jordan.
True.
Should have had Montel Jordan.
Yeah.
Look at Jesse A. I'm going Rasho, Malik,
Jefferson.
Dude,
you might as well throw Dwan Blair in there, man.
No ACL, man.
Oh,
dude.
my
Come on.
Who was our center with the mullet in the early 90s?
Shinsis.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, big fella.
Man,
who was my guy in the 90s? Antoine Carr. The big
dog. The big dog. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I used to also like the bruiser, Frank Burkowski, dude. He used to get
that's-
scrappy, man.
That'd be a fun question. Who
Yeah.
are your off the bench all time?
Hey, man.
Yeah,
Frank Burkowski like throw hands, bro. He's always getting into fights,
Yeah,
man.
he was like the Beer Lambier.
Yeah, they would throw him in there. He was the
Yeah.
enforcer. So
Yeah.
when things were getting rough, getting deep out there, and people scrapping it up, they'd be like, "Hey, man, go in there, give me 2-3 good fouls.
Yeah,
Go knock people out, bro."
I love it, man.
That was the old school basketball back then, man. But Spurs fans, I mean, we had some good teams, but even like in the 80s, early 80s,
really
late
good.
90s, we had some really good rosters put together. But the problem is you had those hurdles in front of you because the West was stacked with talent as far as like the Utah Jazz, which humbled the Spurs a couple of times when they had Rodman.
That Stockton Malone,
Ooh, man.
Yeah, the Stockton Malone would always knock out the Spurs early.
What was a
right?
big center they used to have? What's his name? Eaton? I think it was.
Yeah.
Mark Eaton.
Even those Charles Barkley Phoenix teams, remember? I mean, they would, the Spurs, they would.
Who can't forget Charles Barkley hitting that J on David Robinson?
Yeah.
Send him home.
He shut down the hemisphere.
Yeah. Good night.
Yeah. It's wild, man, to think about that. Those are all good teams.
It's back to my original point. That's why it's kind of hard for Spurs fans, even the old ones, because we're always in the playoffs. Even before our historic run, we were always one of the better franchises in all sports.
Oh, we got our first.
What is it?
What do you call that? Troll, not troll, but you get that spam coming into the chat. I'm like, geez, bro.
You might as well throw in Jock Vaughn.
Yeah.
Jock Vaughn. No, man.
Kawhi's
They're going
gotta be
back,
in there.
bro.
Nah, not on mine.
Kawhi has
Sorry,
to be
Sid.
over tomorrow. Yeah.
It's my list. He could be on your list.
Yeah.
You know what? We should have like a list too, like best Euro players that ever came to the NBA before it was a thing. You had the Drazen Petrovic. Remember him?
Yeah.
Sarunas Marciulionis. To me, he was the guy from the Golden State Warriors that invented that Euro step, man. When he came onto the scene, he was something special. He was a great six man coming off the bench for the Warriors, and he decimated that Spurs team when they were going at the Warriors. I think it was the first round of the playoffs early on. Everybody was like, man, the Spurs are going to have a great team. They're going to get past the first round of the playoffs. No, sir, man. The Sarunas freaking Marciulionis, bro. I hated that guy.
Pop might have been with the Warriors then. I don't know.
Man.
He might have been with
I hated that guy, but I appreciated his game, man.
Yeah.
Even as young as I was, I'm like, dude, see, some of these Euro players were on point, man.
Man, that's awesome, man. You know what? Time flies. We're having fun because we have been going for an hour and it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
I'm Rick, Rios Fernandez on the X. We got Spurs and Salsa co-producing the beautiful Chicana Fuerte. And of course, the man behind the magic, Joe Garcia. We're talking Spurs.
I got to get used to calling you Rick.
Rick.
I know, that's funny. Somebody, I think it was Sith, because he said, "Who's Richard?" Right?
Oh yeah, who's
And
that?
yeah. So background for that. So I'm Junior, right? I'm Ricardo Fernandez Jr. There was a mix-up when I was a kid because my dad was Ricardo, when he was around. And my mom, for all my school stuff, she put Richard to try to decipher between Ricardo and Richard, right? Because they would get stuff about Ricardo, and she thought it was for my dad, it was for me, blah blah blah. Anyway, so my mom put Richard on all of my school stuff, so everything in school was Richard. My mom called me Junior, so you know what I mean. So anyway, so my high school friends call me Richard because they that's what they knew me as, because that's what I was called at school, right? And then when I started working, like Bill Miller official applications, I put Ricardo, right? I put my official, my government name, So then it was Ricardo, and then of course I joined the Marines and all that. So it's Ricardo, it's Fernandez, it's whatever. And then it's like when Steph and I got together, she was like, people call you Rick, people call you Richard, people call you all these aliases, you know what I mean? So that's kind of the background of that, right? And then like Ricardo kind of got shortened to Rick. So that's that, but yeah, Dyer always, he's like, who the hell's Rick? Who the
So funny.
It is funny.
Pop accentuates the C. He's
Rick. Yeah, he's like Rick. Yeah.
But one thing that we're gonna do right now is we're gonna take a little break now. So we're gonna go ahead and give some love to Jeff Garcia of Locked On Spurs.
Yeah, let's do it.
Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5
Big timer.
SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow, not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@LockedOnSpurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, so big shout out to Jeff Garcia of Locked On Spurs. And again, congratulations to Jeff on hitting 8 years of doing Los. Locked On Spurs, big accomplishment for our guy, man.
It's a long time, man. 8 years.
Yeah, and today you can go ahead and take a look at his X. He's got some stuff popping right now. He's got some articles that are coming up on Ken's 5, which you can go ahead and go on his platform there and see all the stuff that he's working on. He's Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast. Didn't mean to play it again. Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5. There we go. Didn't mean to play that again. I was gonna say
you get double the love.
Yeah. You can go on his X and also on Ken's 5. You can go see the latest articles he has right now. I think right now on the X he has a drafter stash for Nunez. He's saying the reports Spurs rookie Juan Nunez inks a deal with Barcelona, Sohan, Poland, lose to Finland, ending Olympic bid. So he's got some news there if you want to go ahead and check that out. So go ahead, and if you're not following Jeff, make sure you go and follow him on the X at Jeff G Spurs Zone.
Man, Sohan's been balling for the Polish team. I see that. Man. Yeah, he's been balling. My man Jonathan C says better to be called Richard than the other name for it. Hey, I've been called that other name. You know what I mean? I'm Big Richard. But I'll just say it.
I'm gonna get rid of this guy that's bothering us here in this chat.
And then my man Tim Gonzalez said, he says, I'm jealous of Fernandez taking a photo with Malika Andrews. She's so sweet. Good. Malika, oh my man, I met her in LA. Super sweet. She was like, I like your bling. Yeah. She's so nice. She's super sweet. She's amazing, man.
She's
Malika
really
Andrews
good at her job. Like she
really is. Yeah, she really is. She's awesome. So we're gonna switch topics. Yeah, she is. We're gonna switch topics a little bit. Again, I'm Riggs Fernandez. We got Spurs and Salsa. Chicano Fuerte co-producing, and of course the man behind the magic, Joe Garcia. It's 4th of July weekend, right? I spent my 4th of July with Steph. We went to one of the Hill Country Hilton resorts, man, pool, relax. It was amazing. There's a lot of like holiday traditions in San Antonio, right? Yeah. People go to certain places for Easter. People go certain places for 4th of July. So we want to talk about some of the favorite holiday spots.
So let's list off the big ones, right?
Yeah.
So yesterday, a lot of people were at Woodlawn.
Yeah.
That's a big tradition.
Amazing firework display.
Yeah. There's also Easter at Brackenridge, which I think is the craziest one.
It is. Camping out, bro.
So my son had a field trip to the zoo. I want to say it was the Thursday before Easter. And there was already people camping at Brackenridge.
Yeah.
One guy had 6 smokers lined up.
6
smokers.
Goodness.
There was a Thursday, and Easter was not till that Sunday. You've got is it the day after Thanksgiving where they light up the Riverwalk and they have the parade?
Yeah.
That's a big one. I think those are the three main ones. Oh, the Riverwalk turns green on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, no, the
which ones have you done?
Man, dude, we did Bracken Easter when I was a kid, man.
Really?
That oh my god, dude, my parents drug us to the Easter thing, and we would do the whole camping out and all that kind of stuff, and it was wild. But
another thing too is that, like, since I'm not from San Antonio, and I knew this was going to be, our home. I'm here as a mom, with my daughters at that time. I was like, look, I need to start creating traditions. And so I had been looking like, okay, what do people actually do? And yesterday, whenever we were hanging out with Johnny Rotten and his wife for their anniversary, we were able to see the Woodlawn fireworks. Yeah, and I told Rick, I was like, what's crazy is that our first 4th of July, because we had moved like July 1st over here. I was going crazy. I'm like, because in Lubbock, they did this whole parade. Obviously, like, they would do fireworks. Yeah. And I mean, it was just one place. And I was like, dang it. Like, we got fireworks over here. Where's this park? Like, and I was like, I'm just going to do Woodlawn. And it was crazy because the traffic trying to get there, I didn't realize how early you had to go to prep and everything. And like, it's pretty crazy knowing that the first time that my daughter saw fireworks in San Antonio, it was a place of like major tradition.
Yeah, she was baptized in San Antonio.
Exactly. That's how you do it.
And I told Rick, I was like, I have this picture of the girls that are so tiny and like the fireworks. Yeah. Like we were in the back of the truck. It was so nice. And now like still I'm still trying to get into like that whole, even though like we've been here for so long, those first years, like we didn't really do anything. So whenever it comes to like the fiesta stuff, I'm like, hey, I need to know this. Like we're out there. We're doing
lots of prep time.
Oh yeah.
And so like even like for St. Patty's, whenever they turn the water green, they're like, oh my gosh, like this is a big thing. Even
they have a little parade for that as well.
Well, what's crazy though is that whenever we moved here was the last year that the Spurs won.
2014.
Why'd you get so quiet?
Because it's been so long. It's been so long.
It's like she's afraid to say we're gonna call her a jinx or something. Like, no, we're fine.
And so like my daughters or Raina was like, "What's going on? Like, what's?" And, like we saw that big man fall out of the truck. That's Raina's like remembrance. Yeah. She's like, "Oh, I remember. We saw that big guy fall out of the truck."
Look at what Jonathan C is saying. He says, "As an adult, I can never comprehend how I stood at Woodlawn in 100-degree heat and endured the traffic for the fireworks show."
What I love about these traditions is they don't die.
No.
Like to her point, so that's been going on forever. And it's still crazy at Woodlawn. Like I said, it's still crazy at Brackenridge on Easter. It's the Christmas light parade is awesome. That's where you get real San Antonio. You get that
puro San Antonio.
Yeah, you know, culture feel.
The place that I go to with my family is I get a really good view of the SeaWorld fireworks. So we leave around maybe 9:10, 9:15. I know exactly where to go, man. I'm not going to reveal my spots to everybody because that's a secret. But I mean, we get there and everybody's fighting for the best spots, and we already know where it's at. We just pull up right there. We get off the car. We just walk up, and I mean, it's like you're right there, dude. You have no better view of these fireworks. And I was hanging out with my family, and I had my boy Jonas Clark with us yesterday. And we're just watching this firework display, and it was great, man. Everybody enjoyed it. Yeah. But if you know, these are traditions.
I will say another Easter tradition. It's more when I worked at SeaWorld as a kid, everybody from Mexico would come to San Antonio for Easter.
Yeah.
So back in the day, North Star Mall was the nice mall. So if you went to North Star Mall that weekend, it was packed. Working at SeaWorld for Easter, you had to know Spanish because the whole park is from Mexico. Yeah. While everybody in San Antonio is at Brackenridge, everybody from Mexico is at SeaWorld or Fiesta, Texas. But I have never been to Brack for Easter. And like I said, my kid had a field trip at the zoo 2-3 days before Easter. Yeah. And at first, like, man, that homeless guy has a lot of stuff. It wasn't a homeless guy. It was a lady with a big-ass tent, like 20 chairs.
Setting up, man.
And I wonder, like, if your family wants to go to Brack for Easter, how do you pull the straw where you're the one?
Yeah, who's going to be the one that goes? Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's like an alternate thing.
I would hope so.
You have to, man.
Yeah,
If
I
you're
don't know.
gonna be there all weekend.
It was always the dad or the man.
It's
of
gotta
the
be the
house,
dad,
Like
right?
that's
Yeah.
usually the thing.
Well, if you have a
like,
big family, you
yeah,
have your
yeah,
cousins start to
yeah,
rotate. You know,
yeah,
hey, I'll
yeah.
relieve you after a couple hours or
Yeah.
something.
And you know,
Yeah.
this is a big military town, so
Yeah,
some of the parents that were with me, they're not from San Antonio. They're like, "What's going on?"
yeah.
I go, "Oh, they're camping for Easter."
Yeah.
That's like 4 days. Yeah, look
Yeah.
at all
It's
this stuff.
intense.
Yeah.
My daughters have actually only done Easter egg hunting once over there, but we didn't. We just their Thea laid some eggs out, and they're like, "Hey, come in."
At Brack.
Yeah, and so that's the
Yeah,
only
I've never
thing
been
we've
to
done.
Brack for Easter. I did do my kid's birthday party there once.
Yeah.
Things like that I've done for the kids, but never Brack Easter. Just
Oh
'cause it's
man, I
great.
used to cruise Brack on Sundays, man. Before
Yeah.
military.
You're
you know
not
what I'm
Pudo and you
saying?
didn't grow up Pudo
Before-
Exit 7 unless you had a kid's birthday party at Rodriguez Park, bro.
Oh man,
yeah,
yeah.
a lot of them.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to even do stuff at Camargo Park and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Camargo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're doing things at the. I saw they were doing at the Wolf Stadium, right? At the for the missions.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday
yeah.
they had fireworks.
They had
and
fireworks there, too.
SeaWorld fireworks are become. I
Yeah.
think maybe families now are like, oh, that is our tradition.
Yeah.
So
Fiesta, Texas, too.
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure if it's like, I know Castroville has a big parade. I went to go eat the day before in Castroville, and they were setting up their chairs already for the next day. So I know it's
Yeah.
big there too.
Yeah.
Everyone has their traditions. So you've done Brack.
Yeah, I did. Brack
And our
in
boy,
Easter
there's our
when I was
boy.
a
Shout
kid.
out to
Yeah.
Brandon Big Papi Medina. His daughter's super cute, man. He
Yeah.
brought her here the other time,
Oh yeah.
and she was in the studio, and she was telling us what to do, man. She's already barking orders at us. But he was telling us, he's gonna be out there with the family on Friday, enjoying the coast and all. He was out there since Thursday,
Yeah.
and he was putting that his daughter was asking him, Dad, I want a small little
The
fish.
fish,
And she
yeah,
caught
yeah,
the tiny
yeah.
little
Did?
fish, the
Nice.
tiniest little fish you can imagine, dude. So
That's
shout
another-
out to Brandon.
That's another
Yeah.
thing. Like Corpus Christi, the coast, that's like our second home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone
yeah.
in San Antonio takes at least one trip a summer. Why she rolling her eyes?
She's,
like
don't,
it?
don't,
No,
don't say that.
Don't?
I'm gonna be most hated if you say
No,
that.
You don't like it?
Well,
No,
you
I
live in
joke.
San
I
Diego.
know. I know. Go.
He was-
I joke about that because we talk about like Galveston and all that. And again, I've been living in San Diego for the
like,
past
you ain't
10
getting my
years.
feet in that water.
I've
I
been
was
so
like,
I'm
Nah.
like we joked about it because she
bougie.
talked about going to the coast like Galveston and all that. I was
Yeah.
like
It's too nice.
the Gulf. I was like, man, listen. I've been living in San
but
Diego,
you know
man.
What's crazy though
The
is that
beaches.
whenever-
I'm just and I hate to say that because I'm Texas. I'm Pudo. I'm just saying, man. Those San Diego beaches have spoiled me. Man.
Dude, speaking of
Beyond
beaches, man, I don't know if
Sounds
you all
like Uncle
saw.
Dennis over here.
But
No.
they had these shark
I
attacks, man,
saw
on
that,
South Padre Island. 4 shark attacks.
That's the plot of Jaws.
I mean, like, bro, like I was thinking of going to the coast with my family probably in another week, but I'm like, if the water's that warm and the sharks are right there by the coastline, is it safe to get in the water?
But that's literally Jaws.
No, for
Yeah.
real, dude. Is it safe to get in the water? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick doesn't even put his feet in the Pacific. I'm
Man,
always like,
it's just funny. We laugh about that because I joke about how San Diego beaches are amazing. They
Oh,
really
look,
are. Man.
look
I'm
at
saying
Jonathan
they-
C.
they-
Look at this is for
Yeah,
you, Steph. He says, Chicano is a smart one.
one.
You put your feet in that water at Galveston, you lose a toe.
Exactly.
toes.
Exactly.
Hey, man, that water stink. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
But we all
Yeah.
love it. We all grew up
No,
with it.
you're Padre.
No,
you
man,
know,
I've
all
gone
that.
to
I
Galveston.
mean,
My family's
yeah,
gone. We like
yeah.
the Pleasure Pier, walking up and down the little downtown that they have right there. It's all cool, man. We love going out there. But when we
Yeah.
get in the water, hail to the no.
I'm just saying. And again, Steph gives me crap. She
We
calls
don't
me
all-
bougie.
We don't all
and
live in San
it's
Diego.
man.
Why?
I'm
Because you won't
just-
get in the
yeah.
water, bro?
Well, no, it's because I can only compare it to the beaches in San Diego that I've
Oh,
been
yeah.
at. You
That
know, and it's
clean
just-
water.
Yeah, man. Man.
You
I go to
come-
the Gulf and I'm just like,
So now you
ugh,
understand why
man.
Kawhi wanted to go.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm gonna stay way
Yeah,
up here. I
I'm
don't
gonna
want none of
chill.
that water,
I'm
man.
gonna sit on my chair. I'm gonna have my drink, and I'm good.
I'm gonna look at this dirty brown water.
You can do you.
And you see people jumping in that water, having the time of their life. Rick. Come
Man,
on.
That's how we roll, bro.
Yeah, but well, speaking of the river, right? We floated the Comal recently. That's fun. I don't know if it's a tradition for people or
I think it
different
is.
holidays.
I think
Like I don't know if it's a
especially
holiday thing, but it's
Not
a
holiday. I
it's a
know-
thing to obviously
Especially when you're in college. Like, you
Oh,
go all
God,
the
yeah.
time.
Yeah. We were out there earlier in the week. It's a good time. Floating the
It's a fun, almost free experience.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. So you're a transplant. You've been here You said
10 years.
almost 10 years now.
11 years.
11 years.
What are your favorite things about San Antonio to do, and then what are some things that you don't understand? Like the way he doesn't like the beach anymore.
Mhm.
Right.
What are some of the things that you love doing here, and what are the things that you're like, what is San Antonio talking about?
Okay, so the one thing that was amazing whenever I did move over here, you're able to reconstruct your life. Where am I going to fit in? Where am I going to be heard? Southtown, like
You love Southtown.
Mhm.
I like the first time that someone was like, hey, like go chill over there. I was like, oh my God, I feel alive over here.
It
like,
is cool.
They're
That's her vibe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the culture, the people, the
Even
food.
Pop Hole hangs out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he lives down there,
Hey,
bro.
first Friday.
But it's today.
Yeah.
Whenever we first came, we were over, the rim, La Cantera. And I was like, man, this is so not me. This isn't what I want my daughters to do. Like, I just feel like I'm in a more clustered Lubbock because Lubbock has all the chains. I didn't want that for them.
Exactly.
I wanted them to be about the culture here.
Yeah.
Look, that's what I loved about it.
Mario Cavazos put
Speaking
a
of La
comment,
Cantera,
and he said, went to La Cantera to check out the Fiesta Texas fireworks show. Never again. Took 2 hours to get out of there.
hombre, bro, you could have saw that in
Oh.
Marbach, dog.
Could've went on-
You could
yeah,
have
the
went on
hood
Marbach.
fireworks,
You could have
SeaWorld,
went. You could have went right here in
missions.
Marbach, dog. You could have saw that, bro.
That's what I usually do when we go watch the fireworks display. I come back and jump in the pool and have another beer or two
Yeah.
and watch the hood fireworks display, bro.
You don't know if it's a gun or if it's a firework.
No me
You know
pasa
what I mean?
nada, dude.
Exactly.
We grew up over here, bro. It's like white noise to us, man.
Yeah.
So to your point about Southtown reminds me of what Austin used to be
Oh, really?
before it got too big, and
Mhm.
now it's real popular with celebrities. But
And
yeah,
it's weird.
Southtown's but it's not even weird anymore. It used to be weird and cool, but now it's kind of just become another big city. Southtown, you're right. I do like that. So flip the question: what is it about San Antonio culture that you're like, what are they? This is dumb, or you don't like? Maybe the food, maybe.
Let's see.
Is there anything that we weird you out about?
Not really.
No? You can say it's a safe space.
No, I mean, yeah, like I'm really trying to think, like, what do I not like? You actually, no. You know what I don't like?
Here we
if
go.
I'm being honest.
There we go.
go.
There we go. We're bringing
There
out.
we
We're
go.
bringing out secrets
No,
now. Yeah.
this is coming from like a parent's perspective. Like, son of a bitch. Like, why must we go so early to a child's like
Game sporting event.
Like award ceremony? Like, there is just so many people that go so early.
Oh, that's a new parent thing.
They want to
Yeah.
get the best seats and take
Mhm.
pictures
Yeah,
and video with the phone and all that.
And
Sid said Steph's gonna say Mike Jimenez.
I
what's another thing that I'm just like, what the hell about?
The drivers.
Tony said he
driving?
doesn't like the market during Fiesta. I get that. The market,
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I like going to the market when it's not Fiesta.
I like going
Yeah.
during the day.
Yeah.
If you go at
Yeah.
night, it's a different animal, man.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, you know what? We go to the hemisphere a lot. There's a lot of there's like splash pad,
Yeah,
and
they
got
got little
water for the
fountains
kids
and all that.
stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah. On what is it? Thursdays they have like DJ and like
Oh, yeah,
Friday.
that's right.
Sometimes they have.
Jonathan makes a good point about drivers. We
Yeah.
can't drive in this.
Oh,
Oh my
man.
God. Okay, so
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm
There
one
you
hell
go.
of a driver. Like, I
Yeah.
really am.
She's a
Like,
driver. I'm the passenger prince. So she
no,
drives.
and-
Look at drivers in the left lane
Yeah.
going
That's true.
55, man.
Yeah.
I saw
Oh,
a bike
I
cop.
hate that.
I saw a
Yeah.
bike cop tell someone to get out of the left lane yesterday.
Really? Nice. So you're
Nice.
driving too slow. I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
What's another? I mean, I don't. That's all I really complain. I'm like, God,
Too
why are
many
you so
Edgars.
stupid?
Too many Edgars.
There's a
Yeah.
lot-
Somebody
you know
said
what?
too
There's a
many
lot of
Edgars.
Edgars.
Yeah.
No, one
Um,
thing that I know that you complain about is the same thing I complain about. In this Texas heat, if you have them leather seats, man,
Oh yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
also like in Lubbock.
That's
Yeah.
in Texas. Yeah.
That's a
Anywhere
whole
hot.
Texas
That's
thing,
anywhere
man.
hot.
Well, that's what. And again, man, I'm sorry. I'm not trying
Look,
to keep
here we
bringing back
go.
San Diego.
Uncle
I'm not.
Dennis.
I know. I'm gonna
No,
lose some
man.
credit here. But that's what's funny. Like I said, you got to remember. Like I said, I've been living in San Diego for about 10 years.
Oh,
and,
you have? We didn't know.
yeah, I know. Yeah, let me tell you again. But it's like
I forgot.
the weather. It's sunny and 75 all year round. Like literally. I'm not saying that just to say that.
Oh, yeah.
So like, I don't think anything of like, oh, let's go here, let's go there, you know. And then when I come here, I tell staff like, oh, let's go here, let's go there, let's do this, let's do that. And she's like, we're not going out at 1 o'clock in the day or whatever because of how hot it, you know, like you have to
Yeah.
adjust your schedule around
adjust
the
the heat.
weather. And
if
the
you're gonna
heat
go
and all
somewhere, it has
that,
to be indoors. Like, look
yeah,
at
yeah,
Mario
yeah, or
Cavazos said,
exactly.
Steph, she fell in love with Ingram Park Mall.
Oh my gosh! Speaking of that,
That's my mall.
I love Ingram.
there was I took. It was just me and my daughters and my ex-brother-in-law. He had came with his daughters, and he's like, "Hey, like let's go to a mall. What's the closest and good mall?" So we went there, and that was the first time that I'd ever gone there too.
Nice.
And I was just like, "Oh my god!" And he looked at me and he goes, "Where the hell are we at?"
Little Mexico, man. It's
Hey,
all good.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, let's go back to
that was my spot, man.
Me
I was
too.
pushing the baby stroller.
The
you know?
orange, you
And
everybody
still-
had the orange
and
Julius.
still getting the
and todo eso,
numbers,
dude.
bro. The orange Julius.
I'll take the Via 613
Oh,
plus.
613.
yeah,
Yep,
that's
yep.
puro,
And then,
dude.
yeah, 613, the 615, bro.
Bro,
Like,
You
man,
transfer at
Westlakes. Remember when
you
Westlakes used
transfer
to,
buses at
yeah,
Westlake?
Hey,
when
that little
Westlakes used to
Westlakes
have
mall
them
was
all, bro.
happening, dude.
Westlakes used to have them all, bro.
Remember they had Montgomery Ward's, Foot Locker. Come on, bro.
Man.
They had a
Chick-fil-A.
bookstore.
What was
Remember the little bookstore?
Robotar? What is it? Or no?
Yeah,
Robotar.
Robotar.
There was
The
a
little arcade. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was off. It was
Yeah.
like a T. So the
Yeah.
mall went straight to
It was
Yeah.
dark.
Target, and it went all the way to the end to Montgomery Ward, and then there was like a little branch off, a little hallway, and you went down there to the
Yeah.
left, and there was Robotar. So that's
The thing about Westlakes, bro, though, it was one shot, bro. It was like Pease, the hallways at Pease Middle School, bro.
Yeah.
You just had one shot and that's it, bro. Ingram, at least you could go upstairs, downstairs. You had some little nooks and where you can
Yeah.
kind of chill. Westlakes, bro, it was a loop, bro. It was a
That's it,
straight
10
shot.
minutes.
Yeah, exactly. You're done, bro. Because I used to like to walk the mall, dog. You know what I mean? And like I had my pen and my notepad and my breath mints. You know what I'm saying?
DJs
And
at
I,
Westlakes. He says the place to get your
the
Jabos.
Jabos, exactly.
Yo.
Oh, I can't remember the name of that store, and maybe somebody can help me. But yeah, it was in Westlakes. It had like Jabos and Zeke
That was
Cavaricci.
it. That was
DJs,
it.
is that what it was? Yeah,
DJs,
there you go.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what he was
DJs.
saying.
My bad. Yeah.
Jonathan wants
Yeah.
to know why there's always mattresses in the road. That's because a lot of us don't have trucks.
Oh man.
We try to take the mattress home, and then it just flips off.
Yeah,
Dude, you want to
yeah.
see mattresses, man. Have you ever gone, like I've gone fishing a lot, like the Calaveras or Browning?
Yeah.
Every single time you show up there on a Friday night, dude, you're
Yeah.
like, man, I got this badass area all to myself.
Yeah.
Here comes that van, man. They pull up,
Yeah.
they got like 20 people in there. And what comes out next? The freaking mattress, bro. Every time, man.
Yeah.
And they don't drink water over there, dude. They just drinking puro cerveza,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
all day
Yeah.
long.
Our-
They're like machines, bro. I don't know how can they do that all day.
You
Like
got to, man.
they get in the water and
Yeah.
nothing. And it's like, hey man, there's snakes in the water. It's, víboras.
Uh-huh.
And they go up to their neck, dude. And then they're like, the hell with that, with the beer. Oh, that's puro, man.
It is.
Our boy Sith says Traders Village is his favorite place. Traders Village is nice, man.
I like the
Traders Village is fun.
is good.
Speaking of Traders Village, this is a big VGV Dan De La Paz merch, right? He has a spot at Traders Village, Big Puppet from American Me.
When I
who's
went to Traders Village and I met him, I
Yeah.
went home and watched
Boulevard Nights.
Boulevard Nights.
Yeah.
Did you ask him, hey, when
yeah.
is Danny gonna show up?
Yeah, yeah. And man, you know what, man? Him coming on this show, that was like a crowning achievement.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was awesome, man.
It was
Like
it was
first
a
of all,
nice
getting him
episode.
in the studio was cool. Because I mean, again, no offense to virtual. I get it. People are busy. It's hard to get people in, and the interviews, whether they're virtual or not, are cool. But like him being in studio was fun. Like
Yeah.
and it was crazy because not like consecutively, but this was like a 25 year in the making things. I met Danny in 1997 at Fiesta, and I took a picture with him and all that, right? Lost contact, never talked to him again. And then just recently, I posted that picture on Instagram, and he like shared it and stuff like that. So I hit him up on Instagram, and I was just like, hey man, like it'd be cool to have. I didn't know he lived here now. I had no idea. He's like, yeah, like I live in San Antonio now. I got a spot at Traders Village. Come check it out, whatever. So we went. Steph took some pictures for him and stuff like that. And then I was like, man, that would be cool for you to come to our show. I was like, he's not gonna do it, or if he does, maybe he'll virtually real quick. He was like, I'll go, like in person. Like he was like, I'm down. Like tell me where to go. And I'm like, that's badass, man.
Yeah.
And then bringing him on here for those of you who saw it. I mean, you could go back to our YouTube channel and watch it, man. That was a cool episode. Because again, everybody knows him from American Me and all that. And I
He
get
was
that.
much more
And,
than
but he
that.
has he was talking about working with silent film stars in the 70s and stuff like that. Like,
Westerns that he worked
westerns
on.
and stuff
I
like that.
mean,
That was so cool, man.
Another sci-fi film that he worked on
Yeah.
that has a cult following.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of good films.
Yeah,
He
it's
is.
so cool, man. Danny
Yeah.
De La Paz, man, a fucking legend. Again, we all know him for American Me. We know Big Puppet.
Oh, look at this, man. Sith is saying his carnal bought a hat from him.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
There you go.
bro, yeah.
Support, man.
Man, every hat I don't want to take my thing off, but he signs it under here. He signs everything. He takes pictures with people, man. He's so cool. He's so down to earth. he roams the like lowrider scene out in LA and in Washington, so he's always bouncing around. But you can catch him at the Traders Village.
Yeah, most
dude,
definitely, man. Hey, before we start getting ready to end this show here, we're gonna go ahead and give some love here to our boy Christopher Leja of MCS General Contracting.
Yes.
Do it.
MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leja over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show. There we go. So make sure you get that diamond hard concrete in your life. And if you want it done right the first time, hit up our boy Christopher Leja of MCS General Contracting so they can take care of all your contracting needs, especially when it comes to that laying down that diamond hard concrete, man.
They do good work.
I saw what he did at Jimenez's house. It looked good. It looked
really good work.
Yeah,
you can attest to it then.
I can. I
really
really
there
can.
you go.
Yeah, man. It's while we're wrapping up though, before we go, we got a couple of quick shout outs about club image. We grew up on like kabooms and stuff like that, right? Those were like the teen clubs back then, right? Like
Noche Caliente.
I remember going. We were just talking about off air. I would go to kabooms like in 7th, 8th grade. What was my mom?
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like I couldn't. Yeah, we can't imagine like taking our kids to like this teen.
Did
club,
you ever go there? Did you ever go and hit up Noche Caliente?
I went to kabooms.
Noche was like when we were older, but
yeah.
But kabooms when we were like
that
13.
was like what
was it? Other one?
Club
Image.
That's
They
what
were
someone
talking
said.
about
Club
that.
Image. Yeah, there was a place called the Stage on Fredericksburg. Back
They
in the
had
day,
some
like,
other little spots too. It wasn't just Club Image on the south side. They had, I think, 2 more teen clubs where they would let you go in if you were underage.
I remember when Monday was a holiday, there would always be clubs on Sundays that would make it teen night.
Oh yeah, I mean, the thing is that these kids don't know about nowadays. They don't know about the cruising, dude. It was something else, man. Going down Military back on Sunday nights.
That's another thing.
It was like a whole vibe.
Looking back, man, like gas prices, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Now, like we literally would like just cruise up and down.
But
Military,
everybody would
bro.
fill their cars with their homies, man. You'd be turning on the oldies.
Tsunami.
You'd roll down the windows. Everybody be trying to get girls' phone numbers. Hey, at the stoplight, you know.
Like Boys in the Hood,
Exactly, man. My brother was part of a car club, and I used to cruise with them too. It was called Suavecito.
Yeah,
right? And we used to fucking cruise.
Club Tsunami.
They're bringing up Club Tsunami. Yeah. But they I mean, I know they still have some clubs. I'm sure they still have car clubs, but yeah, Suavecito, Unlimited Dreams. There was like a bunch of car clubs in the 90s that we used to cruise with. I had that convertible Cavalier, that had the lowrider rims, the chain steering wheel. All that
was a legit ride back in the day, man.
Bro, yeah.
Sam said he walked from Kabooms to Skateland. That's a dangerous walk.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
That's a tough walk.
Sam, you're a real one.
Because it's all like right there by the highway, right? It's like by 90 and all that stuff. Yeah. Exactly.
Remember when people used to live, like, I think it was in that little mobile home park. Remember that's right. It used to be right across the street from Skateland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you would have people running across the highway to get Skateland. I was like, dude,
every time
that was crazy, man.
Every time my mom would drive in at Skateland, you're right. There'd be 1 or 2 little silver
running across the highway, dude. I was like, that's nuts. And they would do that at night too.
Bro, that was the precursor to Edgar's.
Damn,
that was a precursor.
That's when we would shave our head and just have the bangs.
But that was the thing.
The Fernando Vargas. The Fernando
Vargas. They would drop you off at Skateland with like $5, and they'd be like, "We'll pick you up later, man."
Bro. I'm telling you, bro. All I needed, man, was my pin, pad, and mitts. Telling you, bro, and my Red Wings.
We would rent the skates, but a lot of us weren't really skating. Bro.
Yeah, I didn't skate. I know he was bad. He was bad. He was bad at skating, bro. He was a bad boy. I didn't skate, man. I had my Red Wings. I didn't want to take them off, man. The Dooney charm and all that. I was chilling, bro. But my man here was killing it on the ring. Oh yeah. He was killing on the ring.
A lot of good times, man. Up and down Marbach here, dude.
Yeah. I'm just in shock. I'm like, God damn.
The Dooney and Burke with the Red Wings.
Oh, you already know.
You're gonna have to wear them for her now, man.
Yeah. I gotta find them.
Tony Ornelas, we might have hung out because he said his first kid club with Skateland was mine too.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of music that I hear and I
Yeah.
take you right back to
Yeah,
you know what?
yeah.
We got to get
Lisa-
Rick to do like an OG fit for you, Steph, where he's wearing the jabos and the Red Wings.
the polo shirt. Yeah.
The Tommy Hilfiger.
The Tommy
Tommy
Hilfiger.
Hilfiger.
Yeah.
Let's see how much Riz
Yeah.
you still have.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
it's Riz
bro.
God, baby.
Damn.
Riz God, baby.
Right, going to Dillard's or was it
Yeah.
Foley's or whatever, getting the cologne.
Yep.
Remember when they used to
Cool
spray
water,
the shit out of
bro.
you? You'd walk in the mall,
Uh-huh.
be walking in the mall. As soon as you'd hit, Dillard's or whatever,
Yeah.
the girls would come up to you and just start spraying
Yeah,
you with
and
cologne, man.
None of us got cologne at Foley's. We got it at Target. We got the Aspen.
Yeah.
No,
that
the
Johnson's baby powder.
What was that
cool
one
water
called? The Brute
cologne.
44?
Some Aspen or
Yeah.
some,
No, bro.
Cool
Hey,
water, some
our
cool
boy,
water.
cool water. Our boy Mario says, Rick, did Steph ever make it to the train tracks? You remember that?
They
It was a
closed it
thing?
down.
They
Yeah,
closed
they
it, bro.
Yeah, but that used to be a thing where you would go to the train tracks, put the baby powder and all that.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a whole
yeah.
ghost,
I've
the
taken my
ghost
daughters
story
there.
thing. Yeah,
It was
yeah.
downhill. It was already going downhill.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like, come on, man.
Hey, we just tricked ourselves. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it was still fun
Yeah,
tradition.
it was
You
a good
should. You know
time.
what? I don't think she's been the Donkey Lady Bridge, dude.
Actually, yeah.
You have been?
Yeah.
That place is always creepy, man.
It is.
In the day, it's creepy. Can you imagine at night? Be like, nah, I'm good,
No.
man. No, thank you.
No. So we used to have his own horses,
Yeah.
and down that way, that same street is where we would like kind of have like a drop off with them. And one of the ladies was like, "That's the bridge," and I was like, "Oh heck, like,
Even the horses were like, let's get out of here.
go."
Jeez, man. No.
All right, Joe, we wrapping up.
We're wrapping up. Speaking of cologne, what does he say? Andy.
Andy, yeah.
Oh, man.
Carolina Herrera. Those are the colognes,
What was your
man.
cologne of choice? Mine was Polo Sport.
I like Cool Water. I mess with Cool Water, but yeah, Polo Sport.
And I would get a free duffel bag or something.
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah.
kept those duffel bags forever. My wife was like,
I guess that's how we know we arrive when you start getting all this spam in the chat,
Hey,
bro.
man, I hope. Hey, my man, I know he's made like I see it. I'm not trying to give him no screen time, but I see all those chats over and over. He made like 3 different accounts while we were on here.
Oh,
I hope you subscribe, bro. That's all
All
I'm
3 of them.
asking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all 3 of them.
Hey. I know you want to hate on Spix or whatever you're saying. Hey, dog, as long as you subscribe, brother. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and subscribe.
Curve. Who said curves?
Hey, my,
Curve was
I'm
yeah.
gonna show my age for a sec, but my first perfume was Tommy Girl and Lucky Brand.
Oh,
Mhm.
man.
Tony
Yeah.
said Builder Square.
Remember Builder Square?
Dude,
Damn.
one of my kid played baseball this year. His coach had an old Builder Square bucket.
Whoa,
Whoa,
bro.
That's a
Put that in the museum. Wait,
Uh-huh.
come on. What was the other one they used to have out there on Military Drive? It was a big old,
yes.
uh,
I think
like-
it's still there.
I don't know what it's called because they turned it into the Toys R Us.
Oh,
And that's already gone too. But before it was that, they used to have some type of like home renovation place there. I remember that it was brown and the words were in yellow, but I can't remember
I
the
just
name of the
remember
place.
Builder Square was a
Yeah,
spot.
Build a Square, man.
No, it
That's
was
old
something
school,
else.
bro.
They
We're-
Oh, Handy Dan is what it used to be
Oh,
called.
man.
Handy Dan, yeah.
That sounds like a pedophile now, man.
Right.
No, that was the name of the place,
Oh
bro.
my gosh, Handy Dan.
Yeah, man.
Tommy Cologne.
That's funny.
I
It's
still have the
funny
duffel
talking about
bag.
those old places.
Uh-huh.
You know what I
The
mean?
duffel
Like,
bag, I'm telling you, I had it
yeah.
forever too.
Whoever went to the Handy Andy, dude. Remember the Handy Andy from back in the day?
Yeah.
Apetitos.
Oh, man, the Apetitos is still there, bro.
Apetitos was bomb.
But
bro.
it doesn't taste
Apetitos
the
was
same
bomb.
anymore because it tastes better when it was before it got burnt down. You know,
Man,
it
yeah.
hit different.
What's funny,
man.
it's funny we talk about that because, like I said, there's nothing more American than eating Chinese food on 4th of July, right? So we were trying to find a Chinese restaurant yesterday, and I took her to China Rose, but it was closed, man, right?
On 4th
But
of July.
but of course we Barton Boozeries, the old remains of
The
a once great empire, right? Barton, it's like the Roman, the ancient Roman ruins, man. Like Barton Boozery is there. It's all knocked down. I think they're making they're making like a car wash or something there now or something. But man, Barnes Boozery.
That was the only bar I knew
Oh.
that would open at 6 a.m.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you all
man,
went to
so-
what? The Golden Walk?
Yeah, I went to the Golden Walk. Yeah, and we drove by John Jay. Man, it's like I told her, I was like, man, none of this was here when I went to Jay.
John Jay looks
like
a
like
lot
yeah,
different.
yeah, like it looks
The buildings
nice,
are
bro.
nice.
Like the building's really nice.
Hey, Tony
Um,
wants to give a shout out to Monica Perez.
Uh-huh.
All right,
We got
Torn,
what?
let's
Shout
say
out
She's
shout.
shooting a shot, the most beautiful girl in
And Nancy Jones and John Jay High School first crush. All right, okay.
I love that.
I like
I
that.
know.
What-
I hope-
yeah.
Oh, bro,
Yeah,
the
hey.
fertile turtle.
That's funny, man. Hey, you know what? That might be another segment of like first crushes in middle school
First
and high
crushes.
school and stuff.
Mario put his first shoplifting experience.
Oh yeah,
Shoppers World, bro. Come
Shoppers
on,
World.
man.
That's funny.
You know, we should have like
When was your last shoplifting experience?
top
We didn't
10
know.
or top 5 bars in this area, right? In the
Oh,
Marbach area.
Yeah.
Remember the Grasshopper Club?
Oh,
still there.
my
It's still
God.
there,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
The
yeah,
carpets
yeah.
still look the
Yeah.
same,
Chuck E.
dude.
Oh my
Cheese
gosh,
carpet.
you remember when you took me to Speedway?
Speedways, baby.
Oh my
Hey.
gosh.
I took her to Speedways.
¿Se
dog.
asustó?
Ooh.
No, it just smelled like pine saw.
That's to get the blood off. That's to get the
Bro.
blood stains.
Could you hear him though?
Speedway.
Because they have DJs now that
Yeah.
come out on Friday.
Speedway
And you
was the
can't hear
move.
nothing,
No, we
dude.
went during the day too.
Yeah.
I was like, God,
Tim
Yeah, those are
Gonzalez
nice.
says Gilbert Mexican
Steph's over
restaurant.
here trying to hide her face.
Yeah,
What
he's
Speedways, bro. Hey, that's the
That's the
move, bro.
move.
You
Just down
already
the
know.
street.
Funny thing, it used to be like an AutoZone, right? Or it used to
It
be
was an
like it
AutoZone,
was an
yeah.
actual AutoZone, and then like when it became a bar, they kind of kept that like checkered flag theme, you know. So it's funny, man. Like,
Hey man, you go to Speedways, and if you get hungry and it's during the day, you can go to Delicious Tamales.
Mhm.
You can go to the panaderia and you
Oh,
can
right
get
there,
some
yeah.
pan dulce.
Oh, right there,
Yeah.
spot.
Hey,
Yeah.
they got you right there, man.
Man, I'll tell
go-
you.
don't go
And they
there.
have El Chevito now right there in that
Mhm.
little shopping mall.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Tim Gonzalez says Gilbert Mexican restaurant.
Yep, that's the
Yep,
spot.
that's a move too. It's crazy, man. It's funny thinking about that. But yeah, Tony Ornales, good for you, bro. Shout out to Monica Perez,
we
your,
can't
your
forget-
Anson Jones middle
He's
school
on-
sweetheart,
He's
man.
on Facebook right now looking.
We can't forget about Arandas. Remember Arandas?
Yeah, yeah.
It's still there
There's one on
too.
Petrenko now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They have that. They used to have the old one.
Yeah.
It's
that was
wild.
with the
It's
military.
wild, like how much Petranco has changed, man. Like
It's
from
just
when
another-
we were
It was
kids. Like,
the
yeah,
wood.
It's just
yeah,
a nicer
yeah.
Marbach, bro.
That
It's the
mobile,
same thing.
that mobile was there. That was like the only thing there. You know that mobile, like by P's and Alternative,
Yeah,
and then
that was
that
it.
mobile, yeah, that
It was all
literally was
woods.
it right there, and it was nothing, man, nothing but monte. And now, bro, you go all through up towards Chali and all that is like HBs and
It was nothing but
restaurants and,
farmland
yeah,
once you
dude,
got
like,
past that
yeah,
1604 in
Man, every time
Petrenko
I think
area.
of Petrenko, I'm just like, oh, traffic.
yeah,
It used to be. It used to be
Take
just.
30 minutes.
It used to just be a farm road. Farm road. Like
Yeah.
1957.
yeah, exactly.
All the
yeah.
way up by Citibank and all that. Nothing but
Yeah.
farm road. Not
Well, it's 'cause
anymore,
it's
dude.
just it's just 2 lanes, right? It's just like one way this way. Or
I think
not?
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like the traffic back there is wild.
Dude,
man.
Western Auto, I remember that. That used to be the move back in the day.
Where's
dude.
Tornado? What is that? Like an AutoZone type
It
thing?
looks like an
right?
AutoZone, but
yeah.
But they used to
yeah.
sell some badass bikes over there. They had the
Mm.
Mongoose and all that other stuff out there. They were all tricked out. And
Yeah.
as kids, we'd go in there with their dads because they're getting auto parts
Yeah.
and go to straight to the bike section. And be
Joe's
like,
trying to
"Man."
buy that Pee Wee Herman bike. They went-
The one they have hidden in the Alamo.
Mhm.
The basement.
basement?
The basement. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, that's about all the time we have for today's
All right,
show.
man.
But
Hey.
as we're heading out, where can they follow all of you guys?
Oh, of course, man. You know me on Real Fernandez on Twitter/X, and Chicana Fuerte also on Twitter/X.
And I'm at Spurs and Salsa.
there you go. Make sure you follow everybody on your way out. Hit that like button. Subscribe. We're getting closer to 1,000.
Appreciate all the followers in the chat. You guys make this magic happen, man. Appreciate Joe
Yeah,
and
it's
Chicana Fuerte for producing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Happy first Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. First Friday.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's the move today.
Southtown, first Friday. There's a lot going on down there. Let's do it.
All right.
Because somebody was asking him what to do
Yeah.
downtown, or is there anything nice downtown?
Yeah.
First
So
Friday.
every first Friday of the month, Southtown has this you could probably describe it better.
Oh.
There's like vendors and like food trucks and like all kinds of stuff going on.
Hold on. Tex-Mex.
Oh,
Frank.
Tex-Mex, man. He's
on it, bro.
He's on it. Tex-Mex is like, where's the grito? You
Oh,
promised me the
yeah.
grito. We got to close. There it is.
There you go.
Man, Mike hates when that part comes out, dude.
Yeah. Too ethnic, bro.
It's too ethnic for him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There you go. So we'll see you all boys on Monday. Have a good weekend. And we're out
Oh,
here.
yeah. Stay puro.
Yep. Peace out.